Okay. Tis the season. Welcome everyone to Keto Kings Beer and Barbecue Banter, the open topic show, anything goes. And I'm your host, James P. Madonna, and I am here with my co-host here, the one and only Jason Cleveland from the state of Washington. Jason.
Hello, James. Good afternoon.
Good. How was your weekend? How was your week?
Everything is great. Doing great. We are fastly approaching the day which Santa Claus will slide down everyone's chimney if they've been good. If they have not been good, then they can maybe expect to get a lump of coal in their stocking this year.
They should expect to be visited by Krampus, and there's a lot of people in the United States that should be on Krampus's list, and
around the world.
For torture and suffering and punishment, and that they so rightfully deserve. Now the others are running late, but that's okay because they have the link. It happens to be here 3:05 p.m. in the afternoon, Sunday, December the 12th, 2021, here in the northeastern New Jersey. And I know what Jason's time is 3 hours earlier, which is okay because I didn't wake him up. As opposed to my friends in Asia who have a 12 and 13 hour difference. But anyway, we have a lot of raw meat to sink our piranha teeth into this week, and yes, it is. What do you call it? Not only Krampus Day, but Festivus for the rest of us, and happy winter solstice Yule for those that acknowledge that Jesus wasn't really born in December, but they commercialized it. All the scumbag retailers, which we will discuss at one point in the show, all the low down, dirty scumbag retailers in the United States arranged it. So,
think about this, right? How do we increase year-end revenue in a dead period?
Yeah. Well,
Let's force panic buying on Black Friday and push to have everyone go trillions of dollars into debt for gifts nobody wants.
They
To
can't
appease
afford.
people, and no one can afford, and to appease people they probably don't even want to see or care to be around.
Well, it goes around. It goes on your credit card, just like the Iraq war. The two Iraq wars went on a credit card, and you know, all these nauseating Christmas songs that you get bombarded with when you walk into a retail store were written by the people that run retail, and it's the same thing with getting bombarded with the Grinch movies and the Ebenezer Scrooge, A Christmas Carol, getting bombarded with that, with all the nauseating sappy songs, is designed to brainwash you and nag you into spending such money.
To create trauma.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a woodpecker pecking at, or a Chinese water torture or something, the peck, 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 spend, and it's a psychological brainwashing by big retail. Of course, the federal government goes along with all of it because they meet with lobbyists and they get these huge campaign contributions, which is one of the reasons why I know the real truth about capitalism, that it never really helped the lower 98% of the population. And you have to be damn lucky, and you have to have a big connection to make it from rags to riches. It's very rare. Since 1776, supposedly only like 10%, roughly, give or take, 10% of the population ever became upwardly mobile, and it was run by the oligarch back then, which was the landowners, the founding fathers, who had slaves and owned plantations, and it just carried on into the Industrial Revolution and until today.
Absolutely, James. And I might mention too, you start to think about workers' rights. You sort of, what you just said in that maybe minute and a half of commentary can carry forward for the rest of the year for topics for us to discuss. And I would like to say hi to my little angel here, Jenny. She says hi. She says hi. She's got some friends coming over today, so she wants to see Daddy.
All right, but we gotta have one of those little girl tea parties.
Yeah, they're gonna build a little gingerbread house, right?
A gingerbread house,
right? Okay, Jenny, go see mommy. But back to what you were saying there, maybe one of the things that we could talk about that just came to my mind is workers' rights. You look at the Industrial Revolution. There was a time when Andrew Carnegie, however you say his name.
Yeah, who eventually got screwed over by J.P. Morgan.
By J.P. Morgan, correct. With the formation of the company called U.S. Steel, which is still traded on the stock exchange under the ticker X. Look at the ticker X. So back to workers' rights. There was a time when there was no such thing as a 40-hour work week, right? There were no such thing as weekends off. You didn't get paid holidays. You didn't get sick time. They were
pushing for child labor, those scoundrels.
Absolutely, right? Pretty much if you're of value, then we will extort your labor for our profit and benefit. And, it's a sad time, I guess, in this country, because this country was founded on or supposedly founded on, individual rights and principles and freedoms and things. But in order to obtain or to avail of any of those things, you basically had to work yourself into the grave just to be able to, earn sort of a semi-living wage, right? Which is unfortunate. And those things, workers' rights and all these acts that we take for granted now, the Family Medical Leave Act and paid time off and unemployment, sick leave, all these things, 100+ years ago, very rare for a company, for an employer to offer any of that stuff to you, right? So we sort of have a lot to do. Sorry about that.
That's what prompted the first unions to be developed out of despair, out of desperation, out of necessity. And when you think about it, originally the American families lived on family-owned farms, where American families created their own food and their own living. They didn't have to answer to any corporation, any supervisor or CEO. They were self-employed, and
Correct.
They traded where other family-owned farms for things that they needed.
Right.
And then they left. Eventually, they left the family-owned farms. The kids, well, there were kids back then. They left the family-owned farms to move to the cities to work for the man. The man is meaning the big evil demonic scumbag.
Exactly.
The man. And that's when the family farms started diminishing and people had to pay out of pocket for their very survival, for every damn thing, every commodity, for food, utilities, shelter. They had to pay out of pocket for everything, and they had to make suboptimal is being kind, wages.
Yes.
They weren't living wages. They were chicken feed starvation wages.
Right.
And which led to industrial revolution, went through there. Then the unions began, and then the corporate CEOs hired thugs, and the union leaders were too naive to think they're going to go out there and carry picket signs and
exactly
do anything. They should have been armed, trained militia unions.
Yes.
That's what I would have done.
How about this too? James, come on, Jenny. Social Security, right? Which is something we all have either paid into or
FDR,
are receiving.
Right?
FDR, right? Think about that. I mean, not only did you have deplorable working conditions, you had basically no rights as a worker, right? And you were being paid a suboptimal wage, and you had no retirement savings and no health care. Think about that, right? Everything we sort of take for granted today, which I think it's worth at least being thankful for all these things. All healthcare being paid for by your employer, a retirement plan set up either by your employer or by the government for you, workers' rights and all these things. 100 years ago, 120, 30 years ago, none of these things existed, right? And could you imagine, and this is where, I say, okay, everyone that has one of these, a smartphone, right? Every single one of these is made in a country where the workers' rights are extremely low, right?
Right.
And they're sort of talking about the Olympics that are going to be happening in Beijing. They're talking about protesting not the athletes, but the dignitaries that are hosting the Olympics, in the hopes that they can get some, more favorable workers' rights for these folks. So I'm all for, anything we can do to better humanity and to have an equal share of things.
Well, just think about it. The Great Depression occurred way before FDR created Social Security.
Yes.
And corporate regulations. So
I know.
My grandparents used to tell me Great Depression stories, and things were pretty bad. I mean, these entitled, whiny, complaining, crybaby Americans today, they don't know what sacrifices Americans made back then. Not just during the Great Depression, but during World War II. Yeah. And they're crying and whining because they have to put on a mask to walk into a store.
Yep.
Oh, the poor babies, and our freedoms are being taken away, and blah blah blah, and we have the right not to get vaccinated. Hey, they forget about the Spanish influenza of
For sure.
1918,
Absolutely.
and there were no vaccines back then. And you know, when the shit hits the fan, and you're having a worldwide and or national crisis, you have to have mandates. The government has to step in. But
Right.
all these whiny crybabies don't realize what sacrifices Americans made back in the day.
Correct. And I, that's where I admire someone like Jay Terrio, who used to be a high school history teacher, and to listen to his shows, you can almost sense the amount of passion he has for history, world history, United States history, and I've learned a lot from watching his programs. But you're right, we're sort of we're in a throwaway generation, right? You watch TV programs, right? How many advertisements have you seen for the new iPhone on, let's say, an hour of given television?
Oh, with that
right?
sickening
with that blonde woman,
Boys song.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sickening, sappy, nauseating.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And I start to think about, if everyone was so interested in solving global warming or climate change or whatever, then why do you need a new cell phone every year, right? Think about that, right?
Why does the cell phone that is not a cheap item have to become obsolete every year, or a tablet?
What's that? VAWR Tech.
I have no idea.
Opal Beasley. That's a cool name.
Opal Beasley.
But I started thinking, right, and in order to solve climate change, each and every one of us and her generation and future generations.
Yep. Jenny, I can make baby sounds. Listen to this.
Hang on here. I'm on a headset here. Let me just unplug that so she can.
Jenny, I can make baby sounds. Listen. Is that what you make when you're hungry?
What do you say when you're hungry, Jenny?
You used to do that, right?
Oh. You want to hear? Hang on, I've got an audio clip. I know she's kind of high. This is a little daddy time, which I'm loving. But I do have I do have a recording here of when she was a little baby. See if I can find it here.
Oh my God! You sound like Chucky when he was a baby. Oh, you were really. That's a real infant cry, actually. To be honest,
that was an infant cry. She was about 2 months old. These are the, just when you think you're going to get some sleep, right? Thank goodness we can get some sleep. An hour later,
why did they do that in the middle of the night? I wonder why.
I know, right? Why'd you do that?
My niece, Brianna, she used to cry for, I don't know. She cry, and what I like to do to babies that cry is like make fun of them, because I would go and then they stop, right? They look at you, and their face gets red, and then they get pissed, and then they really scream.
Isn't that funny? I know they're like, stop it, right? Stop it.
I would do that, like if a mother's in a store with the stroller, and when the mother's not looking, I would make I would make scary faces, like like I was Krampus, and the baby started crying. As soon as the mother turned around, I would go. I'll go like this, and I keep.
When was this? Because you couldn't look at a child like that now. They'd have security called. You'd have 10 lawsuits against you, right?
Yeah. Well, I was playing a clever game, but anyway, let's sink our teeth. We already know that capitalism, the trickle-down economics, all that mumbo jumbo was always a big lie to brainwash the 98% suckers to believe in something that doesn't exist, and all the retards with the MAGA hats, the red MAGA hats, they believe all that flag waving crap, And you know, but except for intelligent progressives can see right through it all, like
Correct.
us. And so now let's see, who should we pick on? TV evangelists, prosperity preachers. You have that Joel Osteen
I absolutely do. I
banner.
absolutely do.
We're gonna sink our piranha teeth into some raw meat. These are the fake, phony frauds that use the word. Well, they don't know the word of God. They use Christianity, religion, and here we are, as a way to get you to part with your hard-earned money.
Yes.
See this phony
Hang on, Jenny.
this evangelical Texan that is living high on the hog with your donations. There he is. They found like several hundred, what was it, $600,000 in the wall of one of his churches. Ew.
Yes. So I'm glad we are approaching this subject, because I'm sure that the viewers at home and around the world would tend to agree that there is, in my mind, something wrong with a plumber finding $600,000 inside the walls of his church. Think about that for a minute, right?
600 in cash.
In cash, right? This is just, in my mind, there's a couple things that come to my mind. But before we focus exclusively on this story, which I want to get back to, I'd like to just bring an image up for you, okay?
Sure.
Now, you could look at this man. Let's say you didn't know what profession he was, right? If someone showed you a picture, and this is where we start talking about psychology.
If I didn't know him, I would think he's a sleazy car dealer.
You're absolutely correct. And this is where first impressions and the impressions that you make upon others are very long lasting and sometimes can never be broken, right? Yeah. Now, that's not always the case. But in this case, if I were to ask you, tell me your opinion of this guy, and you had no idea what he did, it would not be a favorable or a pleasurable opinion.
No, he doesn't. Honest, he doesn't have a trusting face.
Does not have a trusting face.
He's too exuberant, enthusiastic, too melodramatic of whatever he's talking about. He's got that crazed look in his eyes.
Exactly. So first of all, yeah, so we're already getting to the heart of the thing here, right? So straight away, the guy looks crooked already. He looks sleazy. He looks oily. He looks dishonest already. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have to attach that he is a televangelist, mega preacher that has a 14,000 seat church in the Houston metro area. He's televised on his programs all around the world. He has, and let's just pull it up because, you know, I like to cite facts whenever possible. Yeah, let's go to his YouTube page and see that he has 2.33 million subscribers. Okay.
Yeah,
2,333,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, another place I'd like to go to is what's that website that you can find out how much people make on YouTube? I was just on it the other day. Shoot.
I know he lives in a mansion. He has his own private jet. I mean, and he's supposed to be a pastor. He's supposed to be a man of God. He never preaches scripture. He never talks about anything in the Bible. No scripture.
Correct. Social Blade. That's right. Social Blade. Okay. I'm sorry. I brain fart. So we'll type in his YouTube name was Joel Osteen. This is going to tell us just how much he's making on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube alone.
Yeah. YouTube alone. Estimated yearly earnings just on YouTube. $500,000 just for his YouTube videos. Think about that for a minute. 500,000.
And these are probably Southern evangelicals, Baptists, people that get all funky and emotional in church and put their hands up when they pray, like they're showing off, like God needs an antenna. The antenna is up, like they have a bat phone God.
Yes.
And they're better, and they're usually sanctimonious, self-righteous people that think they are closer to God than everyone else.
Yes. So these people, they put their faith, their trust, and their hard-earned cash in the hands of a televangelist preacher that, in my mind, is scamming everybody out of their hard-earned money, right?
Yep.
To your point, these people, and I was trying to find another picture. I do apologize. There are several distractions here, but we're just going to roll with it. Hang on here. Copy image address. This is what I like to do.
Who's a bigger squeeze than him is a guy named Peter Popoff, and his miracle. And his miracle spring water. Yeah, it's getting a bit loud.
Sorry. Hang on just one second, James. I do apologize. I'm sorry. I'm very much sorry. Peter Popoff. The name alone just sounds hilarious.
Peter Popoff picked your pocket with pickled peppers, something like that. I don't know. Look at that face. That with his phone number.
Now, I'm glad you brought up this guy, right? Look at that, right? He's got straight away.
He's got shoe polished black hair.
Look what the line above the phone number says. Call now for free miracle spring water. Okay. Free. Now there's nothing free, I guarantee you, about it, right? Because in order for them, this is how they scam you. In order to them, you have to pay some small amount of shipping, right? And in order for you to pay for that small amount of shipping, I need your credit card number. Okay.
You have to make a gift donation. You have to tithe. He says when you tithe to his ministry, God will bless you many times, multiple times over, because you are tithing, which means he is corrupting the scripture that talks about tithing, because it has to do with giving to the poor, not giving to wealthy TV evangelists. And look where it says peterpopoff.org.
That's an org. So anything.org is a tax-free organization, right? It's a non-for-profit, right? That's how the websites, if the in and a .com, it's a communications, it's a website that can profit. But I believe if I was to do .org meaning, public interest, so nonprofit. See this right here. Actual use for a .org is a nonprofit.
Now, does the government keep tabs on what he does with his donations? I wonder.
That's a fantastic question, because I started thinking about. Yes.
Okay. Hold on for a second. Pink quartz crystal pendulum. The $600,000 cash that was found in Joel Osteen in the wall of one of Joel Osteen's churches, was that planted there by Joel Osteen for hiding it for some specific reason?
If that thing hasn't swung, that thing has never swung larger on the show. I mean, look at the circle it's making, the size of it.
And you see my hand has not moved. Yes.
It's rock solid.
Peter Popoff. So it is a secret hiding place for Peter Popoff, correct? Pendulum? pink quartz crystal, which I use a different crystal every week. Yes, it's a secret hiding place. Now, does Peter Popoff spend his donations on himself and his wife, just like Joel Osteen does? Yes. Does Peter Popoff ever help the poor? No. No. Does Joel Osteen ever help the poor in the state of Texas?
Folks, look at that. Look at that, folks.
No.
The proof.
Should mega churches, if they're really Christian pastors, should the word mega, as in mega churches, exist? No. Interesting. Hold on. Good morning, Masumi.
Good morning, Matsumi. Good
From
morning.
Japan, from Tokyo area. It is now 4:33 a.m. Monday there.
Good morning.
She just woke up. Good morning, and I hope you have a pleasant Monday, even though Monday is the most popular day of the week. But I hope you have a pleasant Monday there in the land of the rising sun. Okay, now we're going to get back to this character. And now, if you watch his infomercial promo video on YouTube for the Miracle Spring Water, it is hilarious, and it can be found very easily.
You want me to find that, James?
Yeah.
The thing is, right, I'm plugged into audio from my headset. I'm not sure if the
Miracle Spring Water video. Well, I mean, just turn up the volume if you find it.
Can you hear the audio on the screen?
No.
So let me try this here.
Nothing. No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Strange. Oh, you're muted. Yeah, start at the beginning. You're muted, Jace.
It automatically muted me when I disconnected when I unplugged my speaker.
I hate when the computers do things without your
Let's try that again.
authorization.
Can you hear?
Higher.
Brother was in the hospital on life support. The doctor said, you got 5 minutes or you're going to go on life support and you're going to stay on life support. His wife called in for him and got the Miracle Spring Water. They said, you got between 3 and 6 months. He's out of the hospital, and that was almost a year ago.
Welcome to the Peter Popoff Miracle Easter Special, a time to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The tomb could not hold him. He arose victorious over death and the grave. His victory is your victory. God's word declares that the same spirit that raised Christ from the dead will touch your body. Waves of that resurrection power will flow to you today. Jesus lives. Now get ready for his miracle power to touch you today.
God is touching hurting people around the world, and now he wants to touch you with his miracle working power. I'm Reverend Peter Popoff. This is my precious life.
Oh, my precious
life. So many people today. Salvation, healing, deliverance. We've got testimonies to share with you today that I know will challenge your faith. Is that right?
That's right. And you've been traveling so much lately, and that's why there's so many more testimonies.
Yeah, he's been traveling, all right?
You gotta find letter
Yeah, safety deposit box and back.
of testimony. First we get
All right,
the
so we'll,
and then we pray, and then we get to
let me get back.
There's another one where it says Miracle Spring Water, where they have the actress sitting in the front of the church, and she like faints when he touches her.
To be in health and to prosper. And he's using the miracle spring water to do just that.
I did use the miracle spring water, and a few days later, hallelujah, I received a check from my employer for over $4,000.
I called and ordered the miracle spring water, and you told me I was going to get $14,000. You told me when I was going to get it, and I received it.
Say send through the spring water, and that it will break through. And I tell you, a check came in the mail for 100 G's. Now my house is paid for. And God has blessed me with over $25,000. Let me send you.
You know, James, as an observation from that infomercial there, the free spring water, it's unfortunate, and I'm just making an observation. Every person in the testimony there was African American. So they're almost, I find that,
So they're more willing to take the payoff to lie for.
Right. Right.
And then the one that passes out and throws the crutch away and starts dancing around, she's also an African American woman.
I know, it's just terrible.
And I think she's not the only one, are preying upon the poor, the underprivileged Americans, low-income Americans that are
correct. People that are essentially, they've tried everything and they've failed. So let's just attach some hope and some money to our last resort, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Folks that are calling this phone number for the free miracle spring water, I guarantee you are not folks. They're folks that read the tabloid articles at the check stand while they're waiting for their groceries.
Yeah, they're not Harvard. They're not Harvard graduates or
correct
Ivy League graduates or
correct
professional people. They're not, and they lied to the poor about tithing. Tithing does not involve giving your money to a crook who is not a man of God. It's about helping. It could be helping a poor family. It could be, given directly to a poor family.
Right.
Like let's say you befriend somebody in the Philippines, let's say, and maybe her and her kids are living in a shack with a dirt floor or something, and you wire money to help them out. That's a tithe.
Absolutely.
That's a tithe.
Absolutely.
But the problem is that the people most likely are not going to real Bible study, and they are too lazy to look it up, to look up the definition of tithing. So what do? It's easier for them to just sit and listen to someone dictate or tell them what the Bible really says, what the scriptures really mean.
Absolutely.
And then they get deceived by false prophets that are distorting all the interpretations. And this is what's been going on. The book of Revelation says Satan comes as an angel of light to deceive the world. So angel of light to deceive the world.
Deceive the world.
Deceive. So angel of light and deceive.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And here we go. This is what they are. And collectively, this is what they've always been. When I was a kid, there was a TV evangelist by the name of Reverend Ike. He's a black guy. He had his hair slicked back. He wore custom-made suits. He had the diamond rings, the Rolex watch. And every week on his show, he used to drive on stage with a different Rolls Royce. And
Seriously.
yeah, he had a prayer tower, just like Oral Roberts in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He used to say, send your petition, send your prayers with your donation. The more money you send me, the more God will bless you. This is what he used to say. And he would claim to go up in the prayer tower, just like Oral Roberts, go up in the prayer tower. If they really did go up in the prayer tower. I think their prayer tower was when they went up the stair, when they climbed the staircase of their mansion to go to bed, or to go to the bathroom.
You know, James, I am sitting here and I'm laughing. I mean, I think you missed an opportunity at maybe a great career at comedy, because all you have to do is tell true stories about these false prophets, and it's so funny. I mean, you're telling me that people would pay to go up this prayer tower. Yeah. This guy is asking you to get free miracle spring water. I mean, it's comedy, but the problem is that these folks are putting hope. Hope is a great thing, right? Sometimes hope is all we have, right? And I think they said that from an emotional perspective, I read this, hope is the only emotion that's greater than anger, right?
Yeah, well, faith is hope. You know, they can't prove it. They can't prove what they say. They, of course, you know, interpretation of the scripture is very complicated as it is. But if you make it all about you hoarding all the donations, it's quite obvious.
Correct.
The agenda of what they're doing.
This is actually an interesting. Let me share this, see if this comes through on the screen, right? Hope is the only thing stronger than fear.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I had to block the troll.
Wait a minute, who's this?
The troll.
Who's Bethany Perry?
Bethany Perry and Opal Beasley had the same exact thing that they posted, identical. So that means it's a troll using aliases. Therefore,
I find it so amusing that you have these folks that just come on here and just want to throw some coal on the fire, right?
Well, when you speak the truth,
that's true.
I notice on the internet, when you really expose the crooks and the forces of evil and whatever, the trolls start attacking. It's like you know, when the sun goes down in the summertime and the mosquitoes start harpooning you. And you know, this is what happens when you're discussing things and hitting a raw nerve.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
You know, so this is the deal with the false prophets, people. They distort and corrupt the scripture about tithing. They're not using the donations to help the poor and the homeless, or feed poor children, or feed the homeless. What they're doing is building mansions, buying stretch limos or expensive cars and private jets. So, I mean, if there were really people of God, they would be taking the donation and doing God's work, which they're not doing.
Correct.
So it's really simple to understand.
Now, speaking of the God's work, who do you think lives in this house? It's hardly a house. Yes. This is a picture of Joel Osteen's house.
The Joel Osteen estate. Look at that.
Now, how many chimneys do you count on this property? Right. Let's take some inventory here. There's one.
It's got a nice pool back there too.
It's a very nice pool. Look at these lawns. You talk about manicured lawns, right? There's one.
I bet what it cost him to have that land, that estate landscaped. He could probably supply all the soup kitchens in Texas with lots of food, tons of food.
There's 8 chimneys, 8, and including the one that's out here in the little cabana, I'd call it, right?
Yeah, the cabana, and he, I'm sure he arranged a little trap door of some kind that you don't even know it's there, to hide, to stash hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in the wall.
Right?
When he needs to hide donation money for the idiots that give him donations. And you know what the funny part is? I used to, years ago, Joel Osteen was, he just started getting popular. That's when he wrote his first book. And he appeared on TV. And at the time I was dating a JAG. She was a lawyer in the United States Air Force. She was a captain. Her name was Laura Atkinson, and she actually used to brag and say nice things about.
She was a JAG.
Joel Osteen, huh?
You said she was a JAG, like in the military?
Yeah, she was the lawyer.
Yep.
And she was a captain in the Air Force. She was a lawyer, and she used to say the same thing that my mother and a couple of her friends used to say. Oh, I like that guy so much. He's so positive, and he has such a big smile, and he talks about prosperity. Yeah, he tells you what you want to hear. He's such a nice, positive man, and I couldn't stand him from day one, and I knew what he was about. But these women, all they need to see is some smiling man that blows a lot of sunshine up their ass, and that's really nice to them. Now here we have probably where Joel Osteen does his TV tapings, right?
This is correct. This is the studio. This is not.
It's like a stadium.
Yeah, exactly right. And you start talking about religion, and I kind of gave it a lot of thought, right? Because I wanted to have a lot of input for today's show. I remember many years ago, I was at a church service, and the church had sort of fallen on maybe some kind of hard financial times, right? They needed to make some repairs to their building. And there were some families that attended the congregation that they would like to give them some financial support. And then also it was coming time to send some folks on missions. A lot of these folks that attend these churches are trying to do good in the world by maybe visiting impoverished nations and handing out food and medicine and things of that nature, trying to spread the scripture. And these trips are not cheap, so somebody has to pay for them. So the money obviously comes from the congregation. And the pastor really, when he had said his message and stuff, the pastor took probably the last 20 minutes of the morning, and he essentially was asking for more than you're normally giving, right? We sort of need to ask for more. And he said something that I thought was interesting that has stuck with me to this day, in that church is the only thing where you pay what you feel it's worth to you, or what you should be paying, right? You can't really go into a car lot and say, I want that brand new truck, and walk away with it for what you think it's worth, right?
Yeah, but the evangelists are telling people how much they should donate, or
exactly,
or tithe, that they like to use. Yeah,
tithe,
planting a seed. Yeah, right, planting a seed. Sure.
So church is the only organization where you pay what you feel it's worth to you instead of the other way around, right? And I thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. And what they typically do, you file in, they play music, there's some singing, all this, then they pass around the plates, right? The giving plates. And at the end of his little spiel, he passed around the plate again in the hopes that people might cough up more money or write more checks and stuff, right?
Right.
And I just looked at this like, and you're sort of seeing this plate come by you, and it's just stuffed with cash, man. And you think about it, it's hang on just 1 second here. And then you think about when you go to I started having these like epiphanies at this moment. When you go to a casino and you bet on a hand of blackjack, you hand the dealer cash and they hand you chips. And then you bet with those chips. And then the cash goes down in these little cash boxes, right? Mm-hmm. And then once a shift or whatever, the security guy comes by and there's a counting room at the back of the casino where they count all the money. I can imagine the same thing happening at the end of a service. The preacher's back there because I'm sure it's in a room with no windows, locked room. Mm-hmm. And he's out there counting all the cash or whatever. And who knows what he's stuffing in his pockets, or in this case, stuffing behind the wall of a bathroom, right? I mean, for those folks that say this, Joel Osteen had nothing to do with this money, what's it doing there? Why is $600,000 hidden behind the wall of a bathroom, right?
Yeah.
This to me just screams theft.
And it proves.
Screams theft, right?
And it proves that churches should never be mega, because they're supposed to do God's work. They're supposed to be very charitable. And it's high time that mega churches be treated like corporations, and they should be fairly taxed, because they should have to prove to the government where their donations are going. And if it shows that their donations are going, first priority is on the evangelists living high on a hog in a lap of luxury, then they should be taxed like any corporation. There you go. Joel Osteen and his wife in his private jet. This is a supposed pastor, a man of God that has a private jet. Okay. I mean, you could help a lot of poor people, poor folks, with the money it costs to buy a private jet. There he is. And this screen sharing is fantastic, because it really hits hard below the belt with these people that deserve to be exposed. Yeah. Yeah, just look at it, folks. Look at it, viewers. Oh, the troll came back again under the name Marlene Martin. You're going to have to say something meaningful, intelligent, and make a positive contribution to this show. Otherwise, you're getting blocked. There's that stadium, man. There is that Joel Osteen church, so to speak, where he gives his, I wouldn't call them sermons, because he doesn't talk scripture. He just keeps on saying, God wants you to be wealthy. God wants you to have everything this world has to offer. The last time I heard that is when Satan tempted Jesus, who walked through the desert for like 40 days, and and told them the whole world can be yours. If you bow down and worship me, I will give you everything in the world. And the same thing with that movie with Richard Burton, Faustus, Dr. Faustus. Okay, the demon or Satan was trying to get him to sell his soul for all the riches of the world that was offered to him. And I think the Twilight Zone had episodes about that. So there you are. There you are. The TV evangelist. Now, yeah.
So let me ask your opinion on this, James. If Mr. Osteen is truly doing the Word of God, and if he has his flock of people that follow him and contribute to him and his successes, if he had all of their interests in mind, then how come this gentleman is where he is? And this is in the city of Houston, right?
Right. Yeah. All of the state of Texas TV evangelists. That I'm sure there's more than one. There's another guy named Benny Hinn.
Benny Hinn.
Yeah. If they were doing God's work, this man wouldn't be like that. He wouldn't be like that.
As a compare and contrast, right? Compare this,
right,
to this,
and that, right. and the private jet and his cars and the stadium. You know, I mean, he can't have like a regular normal church. He's got to have a stadium, and then compare that to the homeless man with the shopping carts. You know, so this is evidence. I mean,
this is not trickling down, right? Like you mentioned earlier, this is
they're not trickling down. And are the politicians, are the career politicians of the two-party system attempting to tax the mega churches and these crooks? And because these crooks have been on TV for decades. Do you see Washington putting their foot down and doing the right thing with these thieves? No, they're not doing a damn thing. Not a damn thing. And this is further evidence that the two-party system is corrupt, and we need a third progressive People's Party, or just get behind progressive independent candidates and get away from the two-party system.
I wanted to ask you, James, regarding that. In 2016, the election year of 2016, when Hillary Clinton lost the election, do you feel that Hillary should have been the Democratic nomination? Or do you think it should have gone to Bernie Sanders?
Well, what happened was when you mean the year that Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump, right?
That's right, the 2016 election.
Right. Okay, Deborah I call her Deborah Wasser Cunt Shits. Deborah Wasserman Schultz was in charge of the DNC, and they nominated Hillary Clinton. And I remember distinctly watching every Bernie Sanders rally, campaign rally, when he was in Oregon, when the little bird landed on his podium. He had massive legions of people showing up at Bernie Sanders' political rallies, as opposed to who showed up for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I think he was screwed in 2016, and I think that he was also screwed by the DNC again for the second time. Yeah, there she is. She's a Florida congresswoman.
And I'm asking you, James, because there's this notion, and and maybe, and this is actually for my benefit, but maybe even for the folks watching, this notion of a super delegate. Because if you look at all the delegates that Bernie had, it to me anyway, it should have been Bernie against Trump. But these super delegates pushed Clinton over the edge. You know, it's almost like I'm a super delegate, so my vote counts for 10 votes, so to speak, right?
Yeah, and they blame Republicans for cheating with gerrymandering and voter IDs and everything. Well, the establishment, moderate, if you want to call them moderate, corporate Democrats, they cheat, I think, with the super delegate. And
I'm trying to find some charts to show, because I think it would be interesting for the viewers to see.
Yeah, Bernie definitely got screwed twice, without a doubt, by the DNC. And the reason why Bernie runs as a Democrat and not as an independent, like he does when he gets elected, a re-elected senator, is because he knows that Americans, I call them fools and suckers, Americans only vote more or less two-party system. They vote Democrat. They won't vote for an independent that the opposition keeps calling a socialist because they have demonized.
This is a fantastic article.
Yeah.
This shows that Bernie Sanders received 56% of the vote in Wyoming. This is just one statistic. Yet, so he got 8% more than Hillary, right? See that?
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, 10% more. What am I saying? 10% more than Hillary, 6 + 4. Yet Hillary has more delegates. Hillary has 11 delegates to Sanders 7. So, and this guy, Joe Scarborough, says it's a rigged system. So you clearly see Bernie should have won, but yet because Hillary has all these super delegates voting on her, Hillary won.
Yeah,
the state of Wyoming, as an example, right?
It's perfect example. Could you send me that on?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, sure.
On WhatsApp, please.
Yeah.
Let
me do that.
Yeah, that's a good one. This friend of mine from Oklahoma, who is a staunch progressive independent Bernie Sanders supporter, Michael Labar. Michael Labar would love to see that, because usually it's kind of rare that you have a real dedicated progressive in a red state, and he admits he's in a red state of Oklahoma. So and I cheers to Michael Labar. Now, when we get done with the corrupt two-party system, because it's obvious that, just like Jesse Ventura said, a politician is not obligated, it's not mandatory to meet with lobbyists.
Correct. Correct.
But they meet with them because they intend on getting their palms greased, collecting the loot. Like, I'm sure ugly old turtle face Mitch McConnell looks forward to those lobbyists meeting with him. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that like despicable that
it's just it's terrible and tragic, James, because kind of going back to this picture here. Now, maybe you say, well, you're a little one-sided. Let's see it from the other side of the aisle, right? Okay, that's fine. You could say, maybe to stand up for this man, every single penny he's received is through donation, or through selling a book, or through giving a speech, or something to that effect, right? He excluding the $600,000 that was found in the restroom of one of his mega churches. he's honestly earned this money. People have opened up their checkbook or their credit card or debit card or whatever, or even inheritance. Maybe people left. Could you imagine people leaving Mr. Osteen money when they pass away? That could have happened, right? So
Yeah.
you could say, well, let's celebrate that success, right? And I think that, maybe we're all a little guilty of sort of, we look at somebody that's maybe got it better than us, or somebody that went out and earned a buck like this guy did. We sort of maybe have a little bit of envy too. Maybe, I don't know, but
every poor person who's down and out, if they can afford to give him like $5 or $10, let's say, and you just multiply it times all the people you see in that stadium, because I don't call it a church, that's stadium. And then the money from his books. Okay, he's a carnival charlatan barker. He's a snake oil salesman, and people believe that his interpretation of the Word of God, what's in the Bible, is accurate because he's telling them that God wants you to be prosperous. He wants you to be wealthy. And that's exactly what these people want to hear, because they believe all those actors and actresses that tell their fake story.
Correct.
Let me ask the pendulum something. Pendulum, are these people that give testimony on the TV taping of these prosperity preachers, are they paid to give a fake testimony story? Yes. Okay. All right. Now, getting back to this nauseating human being. All right. Well, that's pretty much. I guess that pretty much does it about Evangelist. Now, the and the two-party system, because my grandfather was right about the two-party system, about establishment politics. He says a Democrat, as an average American citizen, okay, a Democrat will give you a few crumbs. They'll throw you a few crumbs, but a Republican will give the little guy absolutely nothing. And he was right, because the very fact that a Democrat will throw you a few crumbs is proof that they're also in bed with the oligarch, and they're also on the take, and that makes it pretty obvious. Now, we were talking privately. Oh, let's see this. Did you know Joel Osteen's net worth is 50 million US dollars, of which he pays no taxes on, since he made it through the church. Church my ass. He lives in a $10.5 million mansion in Royal Oaks, California, where he prays for the poor and less fortunate. No, he just prays for more donations. So he left Texas to live, in California, loaded up the truck and moved to Beverly. And he's not even in Houston anymore. He prays. That was a joke, right? It had to be. He prays for the
I think it's satire.
He prays for the poor and less fortunate in his $10.5 million mansion. Okay. All right. Joel receives. All right. This is Joel Osteen's house. Joel doesn't pay taxes. Joel receives over 4 million in aid. You got $600. 4 million in aid. What? Wait a minute. I wonder if he made some campaign donations to some of those politicians. You got a $600 stimulus check, and he got stimulated.
Yes, there's
Why?
something wrong there.
What did it say? 10 million?
Yeah.
10 million? Okay. All right. Oh, these are great banners. If you're totally cool with Joel Osteen having, I can't define. If you're totally cool with Joel Osteen having a $10.4 million mansion, but think food stamps are wasteful spending, wasteful spending that we should cut. You need to reevaluate your so-called, quote, Christian values, unquote. This needs to be said, imaged by Occupy Democrats. Like our page for more. Yeah, they're fake, phony, fraud, counterfeit Christians. They're not real Christians. Breaking news. Ferrari driving mega pastor Joel Osteen, all right, worth $50 million, and his tax-exempt church repay taxpayers $4.4 million in emergency pandemic.
That's right. He did take emergency PPP loans.
PPP loans they milked from the government after a massive outcry erupts. Should Joel Osteen and his megachurch be forced to pay taxes? It's a no-brainer, of course. Yes. And after this, we got to hammer corporate American CEOs for not only their downsizing, but their outsourcing of American jobs, and how they cry poverty all the time, and how trickle down is a lie. I think that's the other thing we.
Should we switch to that one?
Yeah, because these are all great banners, but I guess they're pretty much saying the same things.
Let me do this, right? So we can sort of start anew.
Yeah.
So
one for the road.
How many of you folks watching have donated to charity and felt good about it, right? You feel pretty good about helping those that need help, right? Think of places like the Red Cross, the Salvation Army,
St. Jude's Children's
St. Jude's, United Way, Goodwill, the list goes on and on. But what I think that you should see is the compensation packages for these I can't even say it with a straight face anymore. I'm trying to be. These compensation packages that the CEOs of these charitable organizations get is just mind-boggling and astonishing, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. We talked a lot about this too. A charitable organization, a fundraiser, should consist of volunteer workers. They don't need a CEO that makes this much money. And go ahead and read off these
Yeah, so let's just take a look here, right? Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I'm sure they do great work. The CEO there made $5.7 million in 2019. $3.3 million bonus and incentive compensation. City of Hope and affiliates, $3.8 million. The Shriners Hospital for Children. They actually do a golf tournament. They're down in Las Vegas. This, in my opinion, is a great charitable organization. But the CEO took $2.6 million pay for the year ending 2020. The American Heart Association, $2.5 million. You mentioned St. Jude. I'm sad to say, James, they're not the number one. In fact, they took considerably less money than the top prize. Their CEO only made just under $2 million last year. Right?
$2 million. Oh, wow. So here we have ill-gotten gains and corruption in all of the big nationally advertised charity fundraisers that come out of the woodwork during the Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday seasons. They come out of the woodwork because they know people are in a generous giving mood. You know,
Yeah. So think about that for a minute, right? I mean, why does the president of St. Jude's need to make $2 million, right?
why? Yeah, why? Why? It's a fundraising.
And I thought about this last night, and let's just put it in simple terms, equal terms that everyone can understand.
Right.
$2 million. People just say it like $2 million. Okay, right? Let's just say you're earning a good wage and you're making $100,000 a year. Okay. 6 figures. You made it. You're making 6 figures. To make the same amount of money as this guy is at $2 million a year, that's 20 years or 20 times, right? So every year he works, you'd have to work 20 years to make the same amount of money. Okay. And it's compounding. The next year, his $4 million for 2 years. Now you're at 200,000. So he's 20. It's an astronomical to start thinking about some of these folks, their pay and then their net worth is totally unreachable, unattainable, right? Maybe let's just throw in one of the top athletes. You're very talented. You've worked hard and everything. You're making $30 million a year playing football. Well, $30 million a year, that's 300 years I'd have to work to make 30 million, right? And you're making it in a year, and then you're making it for 10 years. That's 3,000 years. You start to look up to these people like they're icons and they're larger than life characters and everything. These people are so far from reality and so far from what normal people are. It's sickening, right? United Way CEO. Now, United Way, his bonus was $630,000. He got $353,000 in retirement pension. Think about that for a minute. I mean, United Way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is the CEO of the Wildlife Conservation Society, which I firmly believe in, why is he making $1.3 million a year? So I think folks at home need to look at these figures, and they need to be angered by it. They need to be the National Audubon Society, 1.1 million. Why can't this money go back? What these are true non-profit, not-for-profit organizations. Why can't the money, a significant portion of the money that we give, why can't it go to the charity itself instead of to these rich? And I guarantee you, these people probably couldn't tell you half the names of the people that work for them. They're not very interested in the people that do all the hard work. They're just interested in these big, fat, heavy salaries, right?
Yeah. Why do they need administrative costs and the CEO? It's I don't
feed the children. 1.8 million.
Children. Even if the Catholic Church has advertisements, pays for advertisements for feeding the children. I mean, the Vatican treasury, they're worth a fortune, probably more than all the evangelists put together. I would bet. And I mean, why can't they feed the children?
It's yeah, I would hesitate to say, James, that at this moment in time on YouTube, we're probably the only channel that's discussing CEOs' salaries of non-for-profit charities.
Then the Catholic Church tells poor third world countries not to practice contraception. Lovely.
Yes.
They get the same thing with the evangelicals in Texas. Well, are they going to support all of these illegitimate babies crawling around? Are they going to support them? No. So there's a lot of hypocrites out there, and getting to the main message of this is a charity should be just that, a charity, not a business. You don't need a variation of a TV evangelist, a mega church crook like a CEO making that much, and that goes for a non-charity organization in corporate America. Why does any CEO need to be making astronomical sums?
Oh my goodness.
And denying all the other employees of the company a living wage. And
so let's single out Feed the Children, and let's take a look and see how much money their folks are making.
Okay.
Their CEO, 1.8 million, right? Mm-hmm. Their chief executive director, 355,000. Chief financial officer, 201,000. Chief operating officer, 212,000, right? Mm-hmm. And then you start to look here at all this other stuff. So that's base compensation. Other reportable compensation. Oh, there's BC.
Hey, BC.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Happy Sunday.
Hey, you too.
Yeah, we're showing BC. We're showing how much money all the charity organization CEOs are making. All the big charities. How much they're scamming people over.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's the percentage of the CEOs getting compared to what they're actually giving out to charity?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're sinking our teeth into that.
We're seeking, yeah, exactly. So you take a look and see. Let me find that, right? While we're looking at this, and while BC is getting signed in, Feed the Children, right?
Yeah.
We just got done showing what kind of mansion Joel Osteen lives in, and he has a private jet. We got done talking about TV evangelists.
Yeah, I was about to say Joel Osteen, the evangelist. I was watching a TikTok video where some random guy seen him on the street, and it was I'm here with Joel Osteen, and he looks at Joel Osteen. It's like, you're a piece of shit, right? He just giggled and walked off.
I'm gonna have to find that one, BC. I have not seen that.
Oh, he giggled, but he didn't get angry.
I guess once you got that so much money, you could afford not to get mad.
Yeah, he's laughing all the way to not the bank. They found They found $600,000 in cash in Joel Osteen's the walls of one of his buildings.
Oh, really?
600 grand in cash, BC.
I wonder if it's the hide from the IRS. I wonder.
Well, that's a good point.
He's hiding it from somebody obviously he's hiding it. But anyway, getting back to the charity CEOs and how much is going to the actual worthy cause.
So I'm looking this up here. It looks like Feed the Children took in about $800 million in the year 2019. And this is from 2019. So they took in 800 million and they paid this guy right here 1.8 million. If you believe that. That's insane. That's insane. But you're right, BC. You start to look at, the CEO of Walmart. What's his salary, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Yeah. Here we go. CEO of Walmart makes $22.5 million a year.
25.2 million a year.
Yeah. So let's see what what their salary is per hour.
If they actually show up to work, they can miss a week or two and probably still get paid.
Yeah. The company's average wage will rise to $16.40. Walmart's minimum starting wage is $12. So their average wage of everybody that works there makes $16 an hour, but the minimum is now 12. And the CEO of Walmart, 22.5 million. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, it is. Oh, God.
That's insane. Well, we missed you earlier, B. Have you been?
Oh, it's good. It's good. A little problem earlier.
What happened?
I was going to the store earlier and come back out. Scooter wouldn't start. So,
geez.
Yeah. So I had my ribs and everything sitting in the scooter ready to cook. And this was like, I forget when this was, but it was like a quarter to, I don't know, 2. So I texted James saying I was going to be late. And I was like, okay. So I go into this bowling alley next door to the grocery store. I'm sitting there. And next thing I know, I get a call. Oh, it's going to be a half hour longer than what it is. I was like, are you serious? Like, yeah, we got to wait. Yeah. So I'm there waiting. And then about, I don't know, 3:15, I'm sitting outside looking up and down the street waiting for this record to get here. And next thing you know, freaking 3:35, it finally gets to the parking lot. And it was like, okay, finally, man, because I was about ready to call another tow truck company. And I was like, fine. So got home, paid the guy, get the scooter in the garage or by the garage. Got to get a battery for it. So
the battery went dead? Is that what the problem is?
Yeah, the battery went dead. Yeah. I think it had something to do with maybe the winter weather, maybe. So
now those batteries, is that like a little scooter, like a 4-cylinder, 2-cylinder scooter?
Yeah, I think it's a 2-stroke engine. The battery's probably, I don't know, about this big.
Yeah.
Probably about 3 inches by 6 to 8 inches. So
did you get a new battery?
Not yet. The store is closed today. Is that?
Oh, of course, right?
Yeah. And it's Sunday, so they're scooter shop or the Kawasaki dealership is closed today on Sunday.
Okay.
They're closed on Wednesdays and Sundays, which is in a way kind of fine to a certain degree. But I'm gonna have to walk to work tomorrow, which ain't no big
deal. How long of a walk is that?
It's a mile and a half.
Oh man! Hopefully the weather's.
I would with that scooter, I would have it flushed and put nothing but synthetic oil in it, and do they still sell the chains that go around the tires for the winter? They still
yeah, I think they do. I'm gonna have to check when I go up there to get the battery, because that scooter ain't going nowhere unless I get the battery.
Yeah.
So did they tow it back to your house, BC?
Yeah.
Shit, how much? Hopefully you got some kind of towing insurance or something.
I wish I did. It's just your average insurance. Technically, it's my dad's scooter. He's letting me use it until I'm able to get a car.
So AAA, does AAA do anything for scooters or no?
No, he doesn't have a AAA. He is like was that no fault? So
man, well, it's good to have you here, BC. My goodness, I wish it was under better circumstances that you were late. Like, hey, I got this girl followed me home and she needed another round before I could go live. That kind of thing.
Right. I know.
Right here, I'm gonna kill BC by laughing.
Next time I'm late, I'm gonna use that line.
Or it's my birthday. I got a free one, huh?
Right. Got my knob polished.
Oh my goodness.
The old knob polishing. Oh.
So James, we were just looking at CEOs, right? So this
I'm trying to get back to
no problem.
I'm trying. Oh, there we go.
CEO of Walmart. 22.5 million. So we were saying, BC, that if you've got a good job and just to do some comparison, you make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Well, it would take you how many years to make 22.5 million, right? So
after taxes, it's going to be a while.
Yeah,
probably about 30 years at least. So I'm looking probably more towards 40 years to make $22.5 million.
So at $100,000 a year.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of 10.
Well, let's try it the old-fashioned way, right? We're going to go into the old-fashioned way here, right? This is a
calculator.
This is live. We're live on. So this is CEO salary, right? 22,574,000, right?
Yeah.
And we'll just do this. That way we can see it. Okay. Let's just say now we're going to do the average worker's salary. Okay. So the average wage is $16.40 an hour. Well, to calculate, so this is worker. Okay. So this is going to be equals $16.40 an hour. And there's 2,080 working hours in a year. So that's the average worker salary, okay? If you see that, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to say, let's just compare the delta. We're going to say this equals this minus this. So he makes 22. Look at that. It doesn't even, the decimal point doesn't even go down. 22,500,000 is still, so this is how much money more he's making than his average worker, right? Now, how many years is it going to take you to make this kind of salary, right? How many years are you going to have to work?
Too long.
To make that much money per year. So we're just going to do this and we're going to do that. It's 660 years. This is where we were sort of, this person at this salary would have to work 660 years to make 22.5 million. The same salary the guy makes in 1 year.
God. So my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, they'll still have to work to make that much money to get to that point. Yeah.
At that wage. Now we could say, plug in whatever your wage is, however much money James makes, how much money I make, all of our combined, it's still astronomical, right? Still astronomical.
God, that's crazy. I swear to
So
God.
yeah, it's a pharmacy technician averages $15 an hour. I was joking around with someone the other day. How would you feel, James, if you boarded an airplane and the pilot came on the air and said, "Guess what? I just got a pay raise. I'm making $10 an hour." You'd walk off that plane faster than.
Oh,
right?
yeah, without a doubt. I wouldn't want a pilot. I wouldn't want that kind of a pilot. My life.
Better off taking a bus or a train.
Right? But yet they're paying their pharmacy technician handling prescriptions that could save your life or kill you. $15 an hour?
So where's the incentive to get a student loan or to go to school to learn a profession, a career, if their salary is not a professional type salary? There's no incentive.
Just terrible.
It's like welding. I mean, I could go out there and get a $25 job, $25 an hour job, and it's like, I get that there's a big difference between 15 and 25, but still, somebody that can flip burgers and whatnot makes just $10 less than me. Hey, I don't get it, man. That's a trade skill that I know how to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Same thing with even something like somebody with a CDL license, being able to safely drive a big rig, or even a forklift operator in a warehouse. You have to know you don't have to know how to work that damn thing.
Yeah, and that's not including the stuff that you got to carry around and pick up and put away and whatnot. There's a lot of logistics stuff that goes on with that.
Yeah, but pharmacy, that's ridiculous. There's no no wonder why. I hate to say this, but no wonder why all the pharmacists in my region are minorities. They're all the people of color.
Yeah,
or they're Asian.
Yeah, or Indian,
or Indians, right? I mean, you know, the corporate America really sucks. I really do. Like the guy who laid off 900 people recently, the CEO that laid off 900 people before Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean,
before Christmas.
We're going to get onto that here we're going to get onto that one very quickly. I just wanted to try to find a chart which kind of shows. All right, here we go. Let me see if this will show it correctly. This is the ratio of pay from the CEO to the average worker by country. United States is at 475 to 1, James and BC.
Wow. God.
Think about that, right?
Man, I knew there was greed in America, but I didn't think it was that bad now. I mean, perfect example, look at Enron. Look how bad that was. They ended up getting money to try to save the company. What did the CEOs do? They split it amongst themselves as a bonus, if I remember right.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. It's just terrible. So, speaking of CEOs, let me know let me just mute here for a second. Back to CEOs.
Yeah.
This week, this guy, look how big he's smiling, right? Look at that guy.
He just had money transferred to his escrow account.
You know what this guy did last week? You know what this guy did? This guy fired 900 employees on a Zoom call, which is basically just logging in and letting the CEO talk to you and tell you what's going on. He was so cavalier in what he did that he is now forced to take a leave of absence while the company looks at and reviews its practice and how they treat employees, and while they hopefully try to find a new CEO under management, right? So let's dive into this story because this one just happened this week, and I thought, what better way to start the story than to share this weasel? Look at that weasel. If it smells in here, it's terrible, right?
Yeah, he's another one with a car dealer smile.
Yeah.
So this guy right here, his company, Better.com, which is a company that it's a mortgage lending company that helps link you with banks for the best rate. You know, you may have seen commercials for what's the name of that company? Rocket Mortgage. It's a mortgage company. He helps you get in touch with banks to try to find the best rate for and approvals too. He helps with approval process. They had just taken in $750 million of hang on a second here, guys. Sorry. This company had just taken in $750 million of new funding. It's a private company. Yeah. So they took in $750 million to kind of keep the company going and to further its investments in people and process and things. And days before, he took in $750 million. And then 2 days later, he got 900 employees on a Zoom call and fired all of them. And what happened when they were fired is as soon as the meeting was over, their computers shut down. So it's not like they can go in and pull a file like, hey, this is what I'm working on, or these are all the people I contact. These are all my work friends or whatever. So
he did this while they were at work?
Correct.
Oh, wow.
Now, everybody's working remotely or whatever. So so everybody thought, well, we're getting on to maybe get a bonus or to have the CEO talk about how good our company is performing, everything else.
Yeah.
But he got on there and he fired 900 employees. He essentially said, if you're on this call, right here, if you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group that is being laid off. I mean, and this happened, right? This happened, 2 weeks before Christmas, 2.5 weeks before Christmas. Is terrible.
It is.
It's
It
absolutely
really is.
terrible, right? It's absolutely terrible. So, I start to look at, we're sort of talking about, James had wanted to talk about televangelists, talk about CEOs. This is, in my opinion, probably the worst CEO I can think of.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's it cost you to keep these people on and employed through the end of the year? And then you let them, it's unfortunate either way, but you let them go. So this way now they're going to attend Christmas. They don't have a job, they got to go find another job and stuff. And it's just, I mean, what a sleazeball, you know what I mean? It's just terrible.
It's a douchebag move, man. It really is. I mean, before Christmas, God, I hope they collected unemployment.
Well, they said there that everybody would get, let me find it here. Let's see what they got here. Oh, they're getting more severance. So this is the guy in the video. Double the severance pay. So they will now get 60 days of pay up from the original 4. So they're getting 2 months severance, and the hope to sort of save face and to make sure that his company doesn't go completely bonkers and people start leaving. It's just terrible.
Yeah. It's like, it's just crazy. And it's like, I know it's one of them things where you got to be thinking, where it's so terrible, where to the point where, or I don't know if it's CEOs, but they kind of talk about the subject in a way, is that if you've ever heard of the WWE and AEW, and AEW is All Elite Wrestling. Now, a lot of the guys from the WWE have been let go. Okay, I don't know which ones. I'm sure James will know, but I know like Chris Jericho's there. He was in WWE, and some of the other guys that are or were currently in the WWE have jumped ship to that part. And I guess Vince McMahon has let some of these guys go because of financial restraints or restrictions or whatever. And it was like so, but at least on that, and at least they're able to jump to a new job, unlike some of the people that got let go here.
Correct. Correct. And to sort of to have all this happen like before Christmas, and you do it in this sort of cavalier way. I don't know. This is just another. It just sucks, right? I mean, and all these people put all their hard work in their life and dedication into making this company sort of, what it was, and this guy has to lay them off.
Or at least, at the very least, make it run smooth. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. It's just, my goodness. So, where did our host of the show go?
I'm here. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. Hold on.
What are you drinking today, James?
I'm drinking what I call HO. H2O. H2O. Oh, of course, the individual.
Here.
Coffee.
Yeah. Coffee's good.
I saw you on Stout Sunday earlier, BC.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Those guys are drinking at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy.
I know. I generally don't attend Stout Sunday, but I was up and seen it, was watching it. It was like, maybe want to join in. Had a couple of stouts in the fridge, and I was like, you know what? I don't do it often, but you know what they say? Sometimes hair of the dog is a good way to get rid of the hangover. So that's what I did.
Yeah, it was a full house. I think you had Jean-Pierre, Michael Komarov,
Ron. I think there was one other guy. Oh, Whiskey Scout.
Whiskey Scout, yeah. David, I think is his name, right?
Yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah, it was
So
pretty
here we-
full.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Look at that guy, that sleazeball.
Jeez.
Chris
God.
Wallace leaving Fox News for new adventure at CNN, huh?
Yeah, well, I had a feeling he did not like the extreme right-wing direction that Fox was going.
Interesting.
I knew he was very moderate. By the way he conducted the debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I knew he wasn't Fox. Well, he wasn't modern day Fox material. He was too honest and too moderate for them.
Yeah, he would be getting. People would say, "Oh, he's hosting the debate. Oh, he's going to throw softballs to Hillary or to Joe Biden and all these folks."
Yeah. Well, I think what the straw that broke the camel's back is the fact that Tucker Carlson is rooting for Vladimir Putin and Russia against Ukraine and the United States. That shows you how extreme the Republican Party has become, where they're putting their party and ideology above everything else. Even so much as to attack the current president. And Russia just loves listening to Fox News. The people in the Kremlin, they're big fans of Tucker Carlson and the Fox News coven of witches and warlocks. So it's becoming really an embarrassment. The United States is becoming a huge embarrassment internationally. But I wonder. I know Eric Fraunfelter went to an event with a friend of his, but he says he'll be back late. But he wants to come on. He'll be very late. And I sent a link to Michael Hilton, and he was all enthusiastic about coming on the show. I don't know what happened to him.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, and if I'm wrong for saying it, fine, but I don't expect that guy to show up. So,
who BC?
Mike Hilton or Goldsmith. Mike, he's the one that does Western beer reviews. So,
I've never heard of him. You know him?
Yeah, I know him, or I used to.
So you think he just, in reality, just wants to do solo shows?
Yeah.
And not join anybody else, and for some reason, and he just, to be nice, he just tells me he wants to come on my show just to be polite, maybe. Because
I mean,
yeah, he's not here by now. It's almost 5 p.m. Eastern time. And,
yeah.
It's 12. Well, it was at 3 p.m. It was 12 noon. I mean, if it was too early, I would have said to him, "Well, come on later."
Yeah.
I mean, if Pacific time, it's 12.
That's probably getting dark where you folks are, right?
Huh?
Is it dark where you are?
Starting to set where I'm at. I mean,
The sun is almost completely down. Completely. I
I probably got about another hour before mine goes down.
What are you cooking today, BC? Did you get those ribs on?
Yeah, I actually got the ribs on. I actually got the ribs on before I came on here.
Can we see them?
So if anything, yeah. And I had to charge up my phone, so it's charged enough to take it outside. So
have a little
let's
change of
take it
scenery.
outside.
Look at some ribs.
Yeah. So, let's see. Let me fasten this down.
Well, you can always, when you come back in, you can always plug it back in the USB.
Well, yeah.
You know,
I mean, right now it's at 32%, so I'm good at the moment. So
yeah, that's enough to do an outside video.
yeah.
You're not gonna remain out there.
Oh no. God, I swear you're such a big
you could if you dressed up like you Jack.
Oh yeah. And you know I got that hat that I showed you, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, here we go.
Let's see. Hey, woo. Oh, that's what exactly? It looks like a loin.
No, it's not a loin, but it is a
stick.
Oh wait, I think it is a loin. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
I thought it was ribs.
Those are ribs? Loin ribs or rib
It's
loin?
a loin. Well, got a big ass loin, yeah.
It's a big ass loin. A real big long one too. Wow.
Yeah. Now if that was the case, I should have stuffed it with something. It's in such a hurry to get it out here. It was like, okay.
So what happened? On the package it said ribs?
Yeah. I was looking at it, it looked like it was ribs.
You got any good barbecue sauce? Maybe you want
I actually do. I got I wasn't sure if I had enough barbecue sauce.
Dry rub and barbecue sauce?
Yeah, this one I just threw on as is. Now that you talk about it, I'm going to throw some of that barbecue sauce on it now. Now I've got two kinds. I think it's a regular barbecue sauce, and okay, I got honey barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's, and what's that other one? Oh, got hickory and brown sugar barbecue sauce. You know what? I'm gonna go with that one. Talking about that, I'm gonna slap that out right now.
Yeah, they really made a big mistake. Those butchers putting ribs on the label.
Yeah.
Yeah, BC, you should go back and like with Jay, right? How much do I owe you if you undercharge me for those ribs?
I wouldn't say a word.
How much you charge me? Right?
Hey, if one time I saw like $40 on the floor of this pub and cash, you think I picked it up and say, "Oh, looky what I found"? Is anybody missing $40? I just put my foot right over the cash, then I bend down and I make believe I'm tying my shoelaces, and then I grab it. I grab it and crumble it in my hand and stuff it in my pocket.
Yeah, exactly, right? Come on, those suckers.
If you say, "Oh, looky what I found," anybody missing $40? Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, yeah, it's mine."
Yeah, but some old lady in the corner probably didn't get home that night, James.
There was no old ladies at this establishment. There was no.
God, BC, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, lower that camera so we get a really good bird's eye view.
I know it's hard to do. Believe me, I was BC last week. It's hard to do everything at once, but sort of just the show must go on, right?
Well, you have to think in steps. Like step one, put the camera down somewhere stable. Step two, tilt the camera so everything's in sight. And then you just got to think in steps.
Oh, this is gonna have a nice.
Like the barbecue sauce is blocking the loin.
Yeah. Oh.
There we go. What is that, Sweet Baby Ray?
Yeah.
That's good enough. There you go, hickory brown sugar. All right, good. It's a good barbecue sauce.
Yeah. When I get done with the boy, move.
Yeah, another one is Stubbs from Memphis, Tennessee, with the black eye on the front label.
Yeah.
Stubbs is good.
Come on, Rocket. Wow. I was kind of in a rush earlier today, too, so next time I will get ribs. Oh, man. Tell you what, after being out there for as long as I was waiting on that tow truck, I'm glad to be back in the house where it's nice and warm. Man.
Oh yeah, because you had to wait out in the elements. You had to wait for it.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned it, but I was waiting on the record. I knew it was going to be. He said about 45 minutes initially, and there's a bowling alley right next to the grocery store. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll just sit in there until my time's up, or until it's about time from the
go in there and have a picture and throw a few frames, right?
Yeah. What I did was I ended up ordering a beer and then playing a round of pool. They've got a pool right there in their bar there. So they had their leagues playing there this afternoon. So I guess it was an open lane to play. So
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at billiards at pool.
I used to be. I should be. I have a couple of sticks.
Yeah, you know, there were like 2 bowling alleys kind of near us, and they tore both of them down. And I'm just looking at this like this is one of those things where I'd like to stand in front of the bulldozer and just say, "Do you realize what you're doing?" Right? Yeah. They built a bank, like we need more banks, and then they built a drugstore, pharmacy, like we need more drugstores, right?
Oh yeah.
They don't build bowling alleys anymore, right? If they tear a bowling alley down, it's gone forever. The generations of people will never go bowling, right? And I'm just looking at this like, you scumbags.
I don't know. People did a lot more bowling when I was a kid. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And BC, like you said, right? How many bowling alleys are in your area? Handful.
That I can think of offhand, 3.
Not many, right? Yeah, 3, right? 3.
Well, they have a bar. The bowling alleys, the good thing is they usually have a bar.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's 3 bowling alleys. How many banks?
Bowling, you could drink your night away. Yeah.
You know what would be funny if they had an event called like midget bowling, where you would, instead of use a bowling ball, you would like throw these midgets wearing like wearing a helmet.
Have you seen that movie? Speaking of that, that's kind of funny. Have you seen that movie like The Wolf of Wall Street? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
What James is saying, they have like the midget throwing contest where they throw them, you know, and then they try to get them to stick. The midgets are like wearing like a Velcro suit, and then they have like Velcro on the wall, so it's kind of like throwing a dart, but you're throwing a midget on the wall to try to get like a bullseye.
Well, I remember Howard Stern when I was a kid. He had an event where these girls were bare ass and they were bending over, and they put mayonnaise on their butt cheeks, and the guys were tossing slices of bologna to see how many slices of bologna would stick to the girls.
Well, I volunteer to eat the bologna and mayonnaise off of that right now. The lion starts behind me.
Exactly. Your job is to clean with your mouth and your lingua, your tongue, the mayonnaise and the bologna off the girls' butt cheeks. That will be your job.
And no custard, right? No nasty cottage cheese coming out of there, right?
Yeah, I don't know cottage cheese ass. No cottage cheese ass.
They were all firm, round, young females, like high class,
18 to 22-year-olds. That's it.
Like they were like go-go. They were like exotic dancers, go-go girls, but they were like those fancy gentlemen's clubs.
Oh, escorts.
Yeah.
James says, yeah, Mike.
But they were primo. Yeah, gentlemen's club. Yeah. Only
That's
gentlemen
hilarious.
are allowed in this club.
Exactly. Hey, I'm going
You
to
know,
be right back, okay?
talking about bowling, there's a charity that we do, and they I don't know how it works out exactly, but what they do is they get these turkeys, frozen turkeys. They normally have like for Thanksgiving, and they'll throw them down the lane. So I don't know. Like I said, I would have to look it up, but it's something wacky like that.
Well, the hope the turkeys are in the package, you know, in the plastic, so they don't get dirty.
Yeah. But see, you pulled out the crystal. What were you gonna do?
Oh, I was gonna ask a silly question. Hold on. Let me take my pills. Benjamin, are the patrons, the men that are in gentlemen's clubs with the dancing girls, are they real gentlemen? Doesn't really know. It says doesn't know.
So they're probably super freaky.
Maybe they're happy. Are you trying to say there's some gentlemen in the gentlemen's club? Some, but not all. Okay. All right. Yes. When people get excited about wanting to be on this show and they don't show up, are they just bullshit artists? Yes.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Are they when these people do solo shows only, are they like the strange loner types?
Or socially awkward.
Yeah. Third. Does that mean they need a good, swift, hard kick in the ass with a pointy cowboy boot? One of my boots.
Yeah, one of them spurs get kicked in the butt with the spur.
Yeah, I got the cockroach killer Western boot.
Oh, so you get the corners, yeah.
You get them in a corner, right? Unbelievable. I tell you one thing. If you don't come, it'll be the last time I say greetings on his live show ever again.
Yeah, I don't go to his shows anymore.
I won't be saying hi, and with him getting all excited that I'm watching his show. If they can't, if a person tells me that they want to be on the show by way of video and they never show up, then
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I hate to put myself in that subject or in this discussion in a way, but at least that I was going to be late. I'm actually here.
Yeah. Well, because I believe you, and I said okay.
Yeah, okay. It was like Fandango Friday. It was like I texted Ron earlier that day because I had a birthday party to go to at 5.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to come back for the show, so I told him that I was going to show up. So it was my niece. She turned 8, which was a great birthday party. So, and we didn't leave until about 8:30 that night anyways. So it was a good thing I texted saying that I wasn't going to be able to make it,
Yeah. Well, if somebody, like, for instance, like Thomas Metal 75, Eric told me he was going to an event with his friend. And he told me where we're going, pretty much, and they were going to go early. And if he gets back, when he gets back home, if we're still on the air, he's going to hop on. I go, okay,
Yeah.
no problem. But at least, you and Eric are honest. Okay, now we're going to see
Yonder. What is that? Yonder?
It's called Yonder. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Can?
hard cider.
Chase is way over yonder.
Hey, where's BC? He's over yonder. I'll be over yonder. So James, you had mentioned that you like a dry.
I like dry hard cider. Yeah.
This is probably drier than a nun in first class. Okay. And this is made in Washington State. Washington is the apple state. Majority of the apples that you eat at the grocery store and find in the grocery store rather come from Washington State. This is picked, packaged, manufactured. See right here where it says, let me see, packed and pressed in apple country. Okay. Wow. This is excellent. So this is, I don't know if they even list IBUs on cider, but this is 6.5%. Maybe I can find the website. But this is what it looks like poured into a glass.
Ooh, very refreshing looking.
And just tons of bubbles coming out of the bottom of this thing here. This is fantastic. Very prickly. I might have to get your address, James. I could send you some of this.
It's very
doubt you could find this locally for you, right?
It looks very refreshing. Do they also make organic raw apple cider vinegar in Washington State?
That's a good question.
Like Mother's.
Yeah.
Not Mother's. Not Mother's. What the heck is it called again? Bragg, like Bragg apple cider. It has the mother of the vinegar, which means it's very cloudy, has a lot of sediment.
Right. Let me see if we can go onto their website here and find what's going on. Right.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It's fantastic. It's excellent. If you like cider. So are we 21 years or older? Yes, we are. So about our cider.
Our ciders, year-round and seasonal ciders. Looks like a great company.
So this is the one I'm drinking, the dry. They do have a Vantage, which is juicy, crisp, and balanced. This is bright and refreshing it's very like bittersweet. Yeah.
And they can also make Applejack, which is apple brandy.
That's correct.
Washington.
That is correct. So this is, it even lists the apples here. Fuji, Honeycrisp, Roxbury, Russet, Ashmead's, I can't even read this, Colonel, Porter's Perfection. So maybe you could buy this.
There are many varieties of apples that most people haven't even heard of.
See if you can buy this online here. Can you buy this kind of stuff?
I'm definitely going to put that on Everything is Food on Facebook. That Yonder. If I could buy it online.
What state are you in? New York, right?
No, New Jersey. I mean, I don't want a 24 pack.
You can't ship to your state, unfortunately. BC, you're in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't ship to your state either. That's unbelievable.
40 states, and our states are not it.
Can you believe this?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Okay, let's show BC here. I'm going to stop my screen.
Okay, now got me thinking about what you had, where it was everything done there, like in-house or at least within the state. Now this one is Traverse City Whiskey Company. Okay.
He's got a local whiskey that he bought.
Oh, this looks cool. Yes, I'll have to go get that too when you're done.
Yeah.
Now, it reminded me that since you were talking about apples, this is made out of cherry, or there's cherry added to it. Now, everything, like the cherries and everything, is here in Michigan. And if I remember right, all the cherries are there in Traverse City. So they get it there, they put it into the mash bill, and this is what you got. So it's really good. I mean, I
Gosh.
really enjoyed it. I did a review on that. It was a double review. This was probably about a year ago. And I had a cherry beer from Founders. And I had a bottle of this. And I did a double review because they were both cherries. So I was knocking both out at the same time. So this one, I highly recommend this one if you like cherries and bourbon at the same time. This one's really good. I had a bottle. I thought I had a bottle up here. I looked, it was gone. I emptied that bad boy, and I had to go downstairs and break this bad boy out. So, yeah, I try to stay stocked up on some of the stuff that I actually like.
So BC, would this be something that you would make into a cocktail or just have it neat?
Me, I would have it neat.
Yep.
Or on the ice or on the rocks.
Okay. Now, is that a liqueur?
I guess you could call it a liqueur
because it's cherry flavored, right? So
yeah, I know it's a bourbon, and they've got cherry in it, so I guess it is a liqueur. I wish Ron was here to kind of give the.
I know, right? I know.
Starting January 1st, BC, hard liquors are added to Fandango Friday.
Yeah, so I could bring this either way. So this is either.
And also, I asked him. I texted him earlier today saying, "What? Think about adding higher alcohol dessert wines like porters and sherries and Madeira. I'm sorry, ports, sherries and Madeiras."
Okay.
Hey, Jordy, I sent you a link, man. Yeah, we're doing all right. We're good.
Well, like I was getting, I would like to try that Yonder. And if you guys ever get a chance to try this one,
yeah, BC. I'm always looking for new things. Let me just, if you don't mind, what's the name of that again?
Traverse City Whiskey. Traverse City Whiskey Company.
Traverse. Show the spelling.
Yeah.
Traverse City Whiskey Company.
Traverse.
I'm seeing if I can find it locally here. Now, BC, maybe you could give us some interesting tidbits. How far away is this facility from your residence?
In a way, I kind of feel funny doing this, but up here in Michigan, especially when you're living in the mid like this, we use our hand to kind of show where we're at. Yep. Now, I'm about here. Okay. Now, Traverse City's about here.
Wow. Oh, geez.
So it's on the.
Okay, this company, maybe I could share some information on this. Because
if you want to look, it got a thing on the back. It's tcwhiskey.com on the bottle.
Okay, I'm on their website.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like they make drinks, like pre-mixed kind of drinks that are just canned, right? So these are great for if you got a long drive home from work, you just have one or two of these on the ride home, right? Or if you're in the scooter, same thing, right, BC?
Yeah. Not that I recommend drinking and driving, but hey, as long as you don't get caught, is it really illegal?
Yeah, exactly, right? So this is the one you're talking about here, right?
Yeah, there we go. Mine's the third one from the left. Yeah.
So this company has a lot of products. My goodness, I'm seeing, and it's tough to see. My goodness, the products. If we just go whiskeys, okay, maybe the screen. There we go. That's a little bigger, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a straight bourbon, your American cherry. Let's take a look at that.
The products. Oh, whiskeys. Okay, maybe the screen. There we go. That's a little bigger, right?
Hello, Jordy.
Great bourbon.
You got Jordy from Scotland. BC from Michigan.
I think, Jordy, you need to mute your YouTube.
Yeah, mute.
Yeah, sorry. I had to mute my YouTube there. How are you guys doing? Cheers to you.
Hey, Jordy, cheers.
You got Jason.
Taking a minutes late.
Hold on. Let me check Jordy out. No, that's Jason.
Let me stop sharing here.
No, well, you could leave it.
I can leave that up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to go back to it. What do you got there, Jordy?
I got Tenants Light. This is like it was just released like a year ago. Tenants is a Scottish beer lager brewery and Caledonian brewery, and like they've recently just tried out the American style light beers. So this is Scotland's own take on an American light beer. It's 3.5%, so really low. But it's really, really nice. It's really light, it's really crisp and refreshing. It sort of reminds me of like a Bud Light rather than a Coors Light or anything. It sort of has that Bud Light DNA, has the same kind of sweetness, but it's not as sweet as a Bud Light, but it's still nice.
Well, what's cool about it is it's a domestic product for you, right? Because it's made in Scotland, right? So that's, would it be cheap? It has to be cheaper, but that's 3.5%. So this is more like
this was £8 for a 12-pack. You can get a 4-pack for £3, but in Scotland we've got this
right?
booze
That's
tax.
reasonable.
Sorry, I don't think I can hear you guys that well. Let me fix my speakers.
How about now? You hear us good? Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, Jordy. You hear me?
All right. Okay. Let me know if I'm like too loud or anything.
I hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, James. It's good to talk to you again.
Yeah.
Cheers, Jordy. Happy holidays, right?
Happy
holidays.
Yeah, just hang out. We got maybe Eric will get home soon. Eric Thomas Metal 75. We're gonna go back to the different whiskey of Traverse City, the different whiskey brands as Cherry that BC was drinking.
So what's interesting about this product is they sell it in 2 sizes, and I sincerely apologize for the background noise. Yeah, this is a travel size and a bottle for sharing size, right? Well, there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'll take 2, please.
I wouldn't do that by you, Jason, because the orcas might grab her by the leg and pull her right in.
Well, that's true, and then the Sasquatch would be down there to eat whatever the orca didn't,
Yeah. He'll marinate her in some of that cherry whiskey, maybe.
Mm-hmm. This looks excellent, BC. I'm going to have to check this out because, uniqueness, right? So there's a couple things this has going for it. It's unique, it's local to your state, and it's it seems like it's a good product. The reviews of this look very good.
Excellent product. It really is. I mean, I can't tell you how much I actually enjoy this. When I picked up this, I ended up picking up 2 bottles at one time. So I knew that if I finished off 1 bottle, I had backup. Now I need to leave this up here and go get another bottle for backup. So,
what do you pay for it? Roughly about $30, maybe.
Yeah, it was probably about $35, maybe tops for a 5th. So,
that's not terrible. Here's a little bit more about the cider company. There's the president of the company.
Caitlin Bram.
Ginger.
Bram.
Here's the guy that makes the cider. It's a very small company.
Yeah.
And then here's the creative director, and that's it. That's the whole team.
Wow.
Pretty small, right?
Yeah.
But now this is admittedly one of these cans that are, has like a label put over I've seen you guys talk about these. It's just a generic can that has like a label that's kind of put over the can.
Stovepipe can?
No, this is a pint, 1 pint.
Okay.
But still, yeah.
Yonder?
See, I think this would be, from a Ronald Terrio perspective.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do, although Wildcard Wednesday would probably be the only place that you could bring this on, right?
Yeah.
Because now they're looking at Christmas beers and liqueurs on the
you
two
can
shows.
You can go on Eric's show, Wildcard Wednesday, with that.
That's right. And in fact, I saw Mr. Komarov was on that show this week.
Who?
As he was also on Michael Kamarov.
Oh, you're talking about the older gentleman. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think, you know, voice for radio, like you say, James, he's got it. And the guy and the stories, and, you know, he mentioned, I think he's like 70 something years old. So he's Mr. Kamarov.
Oh, he is that old?
I believe he said he was 75 or something.
Really? Because he's very alert and
very chippy, right? Yeah.
Chipper, smart, and, you know, energetic. And
yeah.
I met him in person. I was at his place, and you know, I told him, I says, what you do on Thursday with your friends and your wife and all your friends is extremely unique, and I think it will go over big in a live stream show. And first he thought about it, and he was intrigued by the offer, because I offered to go live to put his event live, and then he must have had a talk with the wife and decided, you know, he just wants to keep it private, which is a shame, because nobody does what he's doing on Thursday.
What's he doing on Thursday?
Well, it's a very different type of beer review. What he does is everyone sits at a huge dining room table, and he has a whole bunch of craft beers and stouts and porters or whatever, and nobody knows what he's going to bring out. So he goes to the kitchen. He's got a huge kitchen counter, like a bar, breakfast thing, and he secretly pours equal amounts of a mystery beer.
Oh, so it's like a taster, yeah.
Yeah, he hands it to everybody, and then everybody has to vote on certain criteria of the beer. They have to guess the ABV. They have to describe the flavor, the aroma, and they have to give it a score. But meanwhile, they don't know what it is. Then,
or who it made that? Yeah.
Yeah. Then when everybody gives all their info that he documents, then he shows everyone what the beer is, or the ale, or the whatever, or the stout. So it's a lot of fun, you know, because they're all mystery products that people don't know until the very end what they are. All right, we're going to say, oh, you poured that.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And a Heineken glass.
Heineken.
It's a nice glass.
Happy cramp.
You know, Heineken sponsors James Bond.
Here's to the comments as well.
What would you say, BC, about James Bond?
Heineken.
Oh yeah, Heineken is Daniel Craig sponsors that beer now. In fact,
they're a sponsor for the movie.
I think I might have showed you guys this before, but
That's a
cool bottle.
Oh, and it's got James Bond on the front next to the star. Okay.
Yeah, this was released for the James Bond film Spectre back in 2015. And it's a limited edition bottle right there. So yeah, I'm a big James Bond fan, you know.
Yeah, I like the ales of the United Kingdom. I really do. What's who is it? Jean-Pierre is bringing. Did he bring Samuel Smith's Holiday Ale or Holiday Stout or something like that? I know Samuel.
I can't remember which one though.
I know Samuel Smith makes some great holiday stout, great holiday stout with like cinnamon and chocolate and cocoa.
Oh, can I show you a can, James? I know you will like this one. This one is just like newly being released. You were talking about stouts there, so like this one is actually £5 a can, like in Tesco. It's called Original Forest Fruits Ice Cream Imperial Stout, coming in at a ridiculous 10%.
Original forest fruits. Ice cream imperial stout. Wow.
Yeah,
10% alcohol by volume.
it's amazing.
That looks really good.
With the conversion rate, 5 pounds is $6.62.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was made with 5 pounds of fruit and stuff. My bad.
No, they're not using. They don't use euros, right, Jordy? They still using the pound.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're not using euros.
Current conversion rate is $1.32 per 1 British pound.
Now, Jason bought a bourbon whiskey from a local distillery.
Yeah, let me go grab that 1 second here.
From a local distillery, and there's nothing like buying local from small, breweries or distilleries, small family-owned businesses. You usually get good quality from them. And he went. His usual ritual is he went to this popular local distillery and got some nice bourbon. I think it was 5-year-old bourbon. And they have a whole array of products. I told them, since Washington has a lot of Sasquatch sightings, they should change their name to Sasquatch Distillery, Sasquatch whiskey.
I love that stuff. I love stuff about Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I like the Loch Ness. All right, hold on. Let's see what we got there. JP Trod.
Oh, cool, man.
Trodden.
Okay.
So this is made probably 5 miles, if that, from where I live. I can pull up some data on this. This is a fantastic product. They started making whiskey about 10 years ago, and they have moved to a new location because their previous production facility just couldn't handle the demand. This won in the San Francisco World Spirits Competition 2015 double gold.
Nice.
So we buy this. We buy a bottle of this a year, and we buy it right around Christmas time because it's kind of one of these things that you sort of look forward to that you don't have every day. And we can kind of fire up the screen here.
I mean, you could have it every day.
You could have it every day. We sort of to give yourself something to look forward to. So this is made in Maltby, Washington, which is just up the road from where I am.
Small batch bourbon.
Bourbon. We sort of kind of take a look at everything's made on site. They harvest the grain and to your point, James, you're right, corn. So there's a big picture of corn here. I was thinking wheat, but you're right. That's the Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey.
They actually do make wheat. So they
barley. Irish and Scottish whiskey is barley.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
they
start with crisp, clean Washington water and cook our mash. 70% corn, 30% winter wheat, all grown from a family farm in Quincy, Washington. That's kind of how they make it. You can see there is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Wow. Nelson Mandela. That's pretty cool.
Jason, what's your YouTube channel so I can subscribe to you, buddy? Unless already.
It's just my name, Jason Cleveland. I don't have any videos. I kind of just do live streams and comment and stuff. But I have been meaning to put the time and effort in to start putting out content. Probably a New Year's resolution to start doing that.
Is your picture like a picture of a gorilla? Or is that someone else?
It's a picture of. Well, my last name is Cleveland, so I just
took the
logo.
Do you have 10 subscribers?
Yeah, 10 subscribers.
Yeah, I got you.
So I just took the logo from the Cleveland Indians, who are changing their name with cancel
right,
culture and everything that James maybe can talk about the cancel culture, political correctness.
Yeah, they feel they're offending Native Americans by having the smiling red faced cartoon Indian, and they everybody gets offended today, Jordy.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Snowflakes. No snowflakes.
Snowflakes.
yeah, and it kind of reminds me of that saying that, like when I was a kid, "Oh, you're crying? I'll give you something to cry about." Now, it kind of makes me wonder. Now, you might see the direction I'm going with this, and it's like what James is saying. "Oh, you're offended? Oh, I'll give you something to be offended about. Keep going. Come on."
Damn it.
Crazy. I mean, I don't think anybody who goes to a Cleveland Indians baseball game or a Washington, like the year before, Washington Redskin football game, I don't think anyone has bigoted thoughts in their head towards indigenous people that go to these games. It's ridiculous. I mean, none whatsoever. It's just tradition. It's just. Now, what's next? The Chicago Blackhawks hockey team. They're gonna put pressure on them to take the Native American off their uniform. I mean, come on. When is it?
I would hesitate to say, James, you're right. I mean, nobody at this point is off limits, right?
Uncle Ben's rice. Uncle Ben is not there anymore, right? Aunt Jemima is not there anymore.
If you see them in your grocery stores, pick them up. They're collector's items.
Mrs. Butterworth, are they still make that?
Well, they changed the bottle, right? If maybe I can show you too, because
there's no bottom heavy. There's no bottom heavy shaped female.
Yeah. Oh, cheers! Look at this. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Hold on.
Cheers, Jordy. So they used to have this.
You guys gotta try this.
Hey, Ronnie S.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hello, Ronnie S. They used to have this, kind of look like a typical maid, right? Kind of a woman that has been around a kitchen a lot, needs to sample and taste.
Bottom heavy, fat ass, woman.
Yeah, and well, I don't even know what this is about. Slave in a Box.
What?
The Strange Career of Aunt Jemima. I didn't mean to go into a dark world here, but this is that's crazy, right?
I think Ronnie S will get a kick out of that.
Hey, Ronnie, you joined at the right time.
Print screen.
No, but we were talking about the bottle.
That syrup bottle is highly offensive.
So it was this, and now it's sort of a something else, right? Because it's offending people. That syrup bottle is highly offensive. I love it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Send me that on WhatsApp, sir.
Yes, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, I think Ronald Theriot will get a kick out of that. I'll send it to him. It's like Jack in the Box. Now I wonder how that was invented. They played Pop Goes the Weasel, right?
Wait a minute, are you saying somebody went after Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box. We never had a Jack in the Box fast food place around here. Never.
Same here.
It's like, we don't even have Golden Corral. I see Golden Corral commercials for the buffet. We don't.
I got one.
Yeah, I mean, why advertise in my area if there's no Golden Corral?
It's to build up the hype when they finally do build one out there, man. That's what it is.
Everybody's gonna be like Homer Simpson. They're gonna dive through the front door, like.
You don't have Jack in the Box out there, James?
No. We got Arby's, and let me tell you, their roast beef sandwich is like steakum. It's like mystery meat. It's not like the old Roy Rogers roast beef sandwich, which was real top round or bottom round. It's this mystery meat, this compressed, like chicken roll or turkey roll.
I used to work there, and the funniest thing is that you're talking about that. We have, or they had, these kind of what you're talking about. They were in a package. I mean, they were like kind of like the way you would buy a tube of sausage.
Yeah.
Patties, and you would have to cut them up, flatten it out, they cook
Oh,
it
you
up.
mean like Jimmy Dean style? Like it was it?
Yeah, Jimmy Dean tube sausage, yeah. But these would come in a package, and what we'd have to do is pull one out, cut the end off, and then cut like a T type of thing.
Oh, damn!
Dump it out onto a sheet pan, and it was kind of what you're talking about. It was a mush, kind of like a puree type of deal, where it was meat, but you don't know exactly what was in it. And it took like maybe, what was it? If I remember right, like 3 hours to cook. From like you get to a certain point in the oven, you cook it, and they had thermometers.
Oh, Bubba's Burgers?
No, Arby's.
Oh, Arby's. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to the roast beef. I'm talking about the roast beef. It comes in like a 10-pound package, and there was like 4 to a package. And what you had to do is they came in frozen, so you had to pull them in the walk-in, let it thaw out, and then cook it. I think it was like an hour and a half in the oven, and then another hour and a half, and like a holding thing. They had like a heated holding station where it just kept it going, and it was like self-basting and whatnot. I was like, dude. Some of the stuff I've seen at fast food would kind of make you, nope, I'm not eating there, or over there, nope, I'm not eating there either. So
I don't like these burgers that are different than they're not pure ground beef. They're from a nationally advertised company, and there's other substances, so to speak, in
it's kind of like what you were talking about, that pink slime or whatever.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, all this liquid, as you're frying this supposed hamburger, all this liquid comes pouring out of it, and it shrinks, and it has a strange taste, like they put other flavorings.
You're absolutely correct, James. The USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, they have different rules for what you buy in a store versus what can be served at a restaurant or a fast food chain. Right. As an example, ground beef at a store must contain certain cuts of meat, and they must be combined with fat to create the essentially lean to fat ratio, 80-20, 75-25, things like that. But at a fast food restaurant, they can actually take the carcass and whiz it around in a machine and take it, and then take body parts off of things like the tail, the face, the hooves, all these things, throat, and all that gets kind of combined into a substance, a byproduct, right? So you'll sort of see if you look deeply, and it's funny. You go into a McDonald's and you say, "Well, where's your ingredients list?" It's on some board posted behind a wall that you can't see, and then the ingredients are literally like little fleas on a piece of paper. They're that big, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Was McDonald's when you were talking about that? And is that what happens at McDonald's then?
Correct. They use what's called mechanically separated beef product or beef parts, and they're taking the sort of unsavory pieces of the animal and combining that up to a delectable delight, like James is referring to.
What they put in cheap dog food.
Correct.
Correct. If you buy cheap dog food from a supermarket, the one that goes on sale all the time, there's pureed or pureed meat products in there. There's
that's disgusting.
Genetically.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
There's genetically.
I'm glad you ain't the ones that eat it.
There's
you like chicken nuggets.
Genetically modified soy protein in there. You know, soy sauce. There's there might be corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, or corn, inorganic, genetically modified corn with the soy, and byproducts. And that's what Jamie Oliver has YouTube videos where he tells you exactly what pink slime is that goes into McDonald's hamburgers, and it's nothing but what Jason. It's pureed meat byproducts, meaning all the undesirables, pureed, whipped up, and they put a little ammonia to disinfect it in it.
Ammonia, damn.
A tad bit of ammonia to disinfect it.
I know some beers got corn syrup in them. I was just trying to check if this had corn syrup, but it doesn't say.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't go out to eat anymore, man. That's why I can do all my own food. And even then, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah. Well, I trust Popeyes, as in Popeyes fried chicken. I love. I can taste the quality in everything they have, and I also think Wendy's is fairly reliable for quality fast food. But other than that, I won't eat anywhere else. Now, Burger King.
I gotta keep filling this up.
I haven't really.
What I do on my show all the time, man. Make sure my glass ain't empty.
Hell yeah, that's the way to go.
I haven't really read or heard any bad rap surrounding Burger King yet.
I want to show off my wee magnet.
All right, let me see what Jordy's got there.
My friend got me this the other day.
World. I don't know how, but it will.
And he's got a bottle of Schlitz
of that. I approve
That's
of that.
Schlitz, isn't it? Like Schlitz beer.
Schlitz.
I think it is.
Yeah, that's Schlitz. Yeah. You know what the funniest banner I ever saw on the wall in this Irish pub I used to hang out in? It said, it had like a 1950s image of a man with a beer or a drink in his hand, and it said, I only drink to make you more interesting.
I've got to show you one even better than that.
Now you got me thinking of that once. So I know it's probably not related entirely, but since we're talking
about, also got me this. My mate, my pal Jesse, she got
guy. Yeah, that's. Hold on. Let me get a beer. Helping ugly people have sex since 1862. You know, it's true. At closing time, when the lights go on and you see what the girls really look like, you know, with tons of makeup on and everything else, and lipstick, the guys are usually pretty buzzed by the end of the night.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
They're pretty much looking to get laid at that point, man.
Yeah. So everybody.
Speaking of buzz, Jordy's over here. He's destroying that 12-pack.
I think there was a country.
You know what? Jordy, man, come on, man. Hold on.
This is like weak anyway.
I'm gonna have to get my bell out because nobody's letting me talk.
Sorry.
I think there's a country western song with the lyrics women look a lot better at closing time, something like that. Yeah, something of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the Christmas tree isn't the only thing getting lit this year, right, Jordy?
Christmas tree ain't the only thing getting lit. Yeah, true. Damn right.
Cheers.
Down the house, right?
Scotland.
Cheers, Jordy.
Cheers, James. Cheers, Jason. Cheers, BC.
Cheers, Ronnie S.
Yeah, Ronnie
S.
S.
All good. Happy holidays when it comes.
Yes, one of these days. You know, it's funny. When I used to go to the fish and chip, there were two fish and chip places that were Scottish owned in my region. One was called Argyle's, and the other one was called the Thistle.
Argyle's? Are you talking about Jay Giles, the musician?
Argyle's, like Argyle socks, Argyle.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Okay.
place.
They
There's a
had
place in
haddock.
Glasgow.
The fish and chips was made out of haddock or cod. Take your pick, and they had great food. They had the meat pies, but they didn't have any haggis. So I have a feeling that maybe Americans are too wimpy to try haggis. Maybe that's.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think you guys would love it. I think you
I
would love it.
If I eat scrapple, so I'm sure I'll eat haggis. What does BC got there? The old booze hound.
Sam Adams.
Private
Winter
Man's Club here.
Yeah.
Samuel Adams.
Now you're getting. Hold on. Well, you know what? I'm going to do this right now. You're going to get a first on your show ever from me.
All right.
You know how we were just talking about this?
Of the cherry whiskey.
Yeah, the cherry whiskey.
Oh, nice.
On your show. I love this cork. We got Travis City Whiskey Company on the cork. So, yeah. I've got my green, what is it? I think it's a green, Henry Ford Museum shot glass.
All right.
So, that's in Dearborn. That's a museum. So, what's the shot? Yeah. Here's to a good show. Sorry for being late.
Cheers,
I'm glad I
BC.
made it. So, cheers, guys.
Cheers, BC.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Well, that's good. Well, that's good. It still has a little bit of chill in that bourbon because it was sitting in the basement. Went out nice and smooth. Oh, that was so awesome. Almost makes me want to do another one, but I got to work in the morning. So, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I needed that today, man. After the day I had today, man, oh my God, I needed this drink.
Yeah, you need something to take the edge off of life and the stress of what happened to you.
Yeah. I mean, I left early just to be safe. And I was still late. I was like, dude, come on, man. It's like, but you know how life goes, man. Life happens. So.
Yeah, and I must have, BC, I had to block this troll that came back with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aliases. It's the same person because they say the same thing over and over again. They come back with a different alias, so I blocked that person.
I like that frosted mug you got there, BC. That looks really good. My goodness.
Well, thanks. I hate to say it, but you guys probably can't see it, but there's a Old English D here on the cover or on the side.
Oh, I see that for the Tigers.
The Detroit
Tigers.
Tigers.
The Detroit Tigers. It used to be blue here, but it fell out. So it was one of the things. I got one of this of the Detroit Tigers of the U of M college team with the big old M on the front. So,
well, Detroit Tigers, the uniform they wear on the road is like orange and navy blue. I think the D is orange, and then their home uniform is navy blue and white.
Yeah,
I mean the cap. Yeah.
I'm gonna go check on that pork loin.
Oh yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, see it. Take us live.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, here we go.
Pick that barbecue and pork loin. Yeah. And as far as the individuals that didn't come on the show, oh, hold on. Let's take a look at this. Look at that beautiful work of art. Sweet Baby Ray barbecue sauce on it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Right there. Yep. Yep. So I'm gonna throw some more. See here. You know, it's to me, I see it as their loss, man. You know, if they don't show up.
Yeah, screw.
You know what I mean?
Screw. Well, they talk about, at least one person talks about the same thing week after week. Oh, my life with sobriety, my life with sobriety, my life with sobriety. Over and over, it's the same story.
Wait, is someone in the chat saying that?
No, I'm talking about.
We're talking about another reviewer.
A dude that we know that we used to do shows with. We used to go on his show that got all excited about coming on my show, and every time he does that, he never shows up. And he told me, "Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I want to go on. I want to go on. Yeah." And he never goes on. And when he does his show by himself, he talks about the same thing week after week after week because he gave up. He recently gave up drinking, and and so he talks about how evil, how bad alcohol is, how evil it is, how it ruined his life. But there's a lot of people that are capable of drinking in moderation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the world that are not alcoholics. So what I'm trying to say is that don't make it sound like that bottle of whiskey, that bottle of rum, that bottle of whiskey is bad and make it sound like it should be illegal. And no, it's their problem. If the alcoholic can't control themselves and drink in moderation, it's their problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that's why I don't understand, like, alcohol tax is a big kind of thing here in Scotland.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people drink, a lot of people are alcoholics and don't know how to, like, keep themselves in moderation. But, like, that's the main reason. So, like, I remember I had to pay like £16 for a 12-pack of imported Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh wow!
Which you guys might think that's pure like really really bad. So that's like £17 in USA dollars. I think $17.50 maybe. Sorry if I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was good, BT.
The price of liquor is high in my region. There's just too many. We have to pay the penalty of all the people that do stupid things like drink and drive and run their car up on the sidewalk into a cafe.
Yeah, they ruin it for the rest of us. Idiots, man.
Yeah, they ruin it for everybody. Yeah, who kills somebody, pedestrian, and so they jack up the prices and the taxes on the alcohol, so all the normal people have to pay through the nose for beer and liquor and what have you, and wine.
Yeah.
Uncensored men's locker room open topics.
Open topic and open smoker grill. All right.
My apologies. I was smoking earlier. I should have asked your permission, James, first. Sorry. Is it okay if I smoke in here? Yeah.
You could smoke. So I don't smell your cigarette smoke. You're a million miles away.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't smell it. I don't smell BCs when he's smoking.
James, what can I say? The bobble thing fell off, which I'm sad about.
The pom-pom came off.
Yeah, I just noticed it there. I don't even know when it happened. Annoying.
I gotta put my funny hat on. You got a hat on. I gotta put my funny hat on. Hold on.
Yeah, defos. Hat up.
Me and Jason are gonna be the odd guys out. We're not gonna wear no stinking hats.
I could put a hat on, but I just
the temperature dipped. So if it was
Oh, nice, James. I love it, man.
like
Awesome.
yesterday, it was kind of warm. It was unseasonably warm. I had to open all the windows. I put the fan on high, and it was December, and I have more energy and I sleep better when the air is cold.
Well, yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. It depends on how cold it is. Now, if it gets like, I don't know, mid-50, like 55 or lower, okay, fine, no. I started getting problems. I started having, it's too cold for me. But if it's like 55, like 60, 65, okay, cool. I'm cool with that. Like 55 to 65.
Well, you have a damp cold in Michigan because you got the Great Lakes.
Yeah, there is like a chill in the air. And you get more of a chill in the air when we start getting rain or snow. It's like, my goodness, man, come on. I know I got a lot of natural insulation here, but I even get cold, man. Come on.
Yeah, well, that's how polar bears stay warm, and the walruses and seals and all that out there. They got
part of that club.
Now, speaking of staying warm in the winter, BC, please tell Jason how much you pay for a cord of firewood. Hold on, he's coughing. Let's wait for him to recover. Yeah, I know. Girls of all ages are they when they get together, they don't stop yapping. So it's just right now there's a lot of commotion going on by Jason in the other room.
But
no, I'm back now. I'm back.
All right, tell them about the firewood in Michigan, BC.
Now I've looked this up. Now, if I had a vehicle, I could get like a quarter wood for $40. Okay, that's if I had a car to go get it, bring it back, and whatnot. Now I looked up online. The cheapest, if I had it delivered, get this, a quarter wood is $110 starting.
What?
And that's
delivered.
That's delivered. Now, when they deliver, they charge $4 for every mile.
Really?
Yeah. So if it's 10 miles, that's what, $40 right there. So you're looking at $150 for a quarter wood.
Hey, you people in business today in America, I have an itch in the middle of my forehead.
Yes, exactly.
I need to scratch it. Fuck you. Like the iron. Fuck.
So this is back to the screen sharing there, James. This is you load and you haul, $350 a cord.
Oh my God, fuck them, man.
So the thing with this is, right, is sure it's freshly split, but the problem is it's rained a lot and it's gotten wet, so they didn't put any tarps over the wood. So you have to dry it out before, so which means it's kind of useless this year, right? This is ridiculous. It's $350.
Yeah, $300. Yeah,
this is in Enumclaw, which is it's about an hour east of here. So you got to drive an hour, you got to pick it up. The road is under. Look at this. The road out is underwater, so you will need a 4x4 to reach the stacks of firewood. Look at all these restrictions, guys. So the wood's wet. You got to haul it and load it yourself. It's $350 a cord, and you need a 4x4 because the road is
Yeah, that's 4 stripes right there, man. Come on, man.
Right?
What the hell are you buying? Smoked salmon, for God's sakes?
But you guys
man, there's gonna be some caviar in that wood. Yeah.
We sell the caviar of wood.
Everything here costs a fortune.
Every 2 cords of wood you buy, you get a gallon of caviar. Sweet.
Yeah, right? Unbelievable. Now you got to look at this, right? You guys were talking about sleeping with the window open, James.
In the summer,
Are you familiar with the time that Ben Franklin and John Adams shared a bed? Are you familiar with the story?
No, they did.
This is a good story. This is a good story. The viewers are loving this, right?
I'm sorry, man. When you started saying what they shared the bed, man, my mind just went to porn.
People didn't bathe too often back then either.
So they decided to stop for, this is a true story. I read Ben Franklin's biography. If you haven't read it, the same guy that did, let me just plug this guy's book because it's an amazing book. The same guy that wrote this book, Walter Isaacson is his name. He did a book, he did a biography on Ben Franklin. And if I can find it here. Yes, this book right here. It's a fantastic book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. But in the book, that's how I got to know the story, that Ben Franklin and John Adams shared a bed. And Adams, who was an invalid, listen to this. This is great, right? John Adams, who was an invalid and afraid of the air at night, closed the window before they got into bed. Don't shut the window. We shall be suffocated. When Adams explained he didn't want to catch an illness from the cold air, Franklin countered with the fact that the air in the room was even worse, right? Open the window and come to bed. I will convince you. I believe you are not acquainted with my theory of colds. So this is back when everybody thought you got a cold from being cold, which is contrary. So cool, fresh air at night has many beliefs, and this goes all the way back to Ben Franklin times. So I are firm believers of sleeping with the window open. We like to have our room very cold, and I find that I sleep better in a cold room than in a room.
Doesn't a cold room weaken your immune system a tad bit, or is it strictly taking on someone else's rhinovirus?
It's breathing in stale air. You got to have fresh recirculating air, especially while you sleep. So anyway,
yeah,
it's kind of funny, right?
The germs have nowhere to go, so you're breathing in recycled air.
But look what Ben Franklin said, right? Don't shut the window. We shall be suffocated. Right? As if to say, if you close that window, we're done for.
We're going to be dead by the time morning comes.
Yeah. We're suffocating. Yeah. So get the book, James. We'll expect a book report on next week's show. It's about 1,000 pages. It's not terrible. It's a light reading.
I mean, this was obviously either during autumn or winter.
Oh, it's only 628 pages. It's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like to read a lot. So
James, I believe in you. I'm giving you A+ already.
I do think it'd be fun if you guys or anyone would be interested in like a virtual book of the month club type thing, book club, where we.
I got lazy when it comes to reading. I've
only got one good eye working anyhow.
I got books that health related, natural health related books that I had for years. Whether it be homeopathy, whether it be herbal medicine, whether it be whatever.
Jody, what is that?
Fitness, and I read them. And, they're collecting dust right now. What is that, Jordy?
No, the taters, the nibs are.
Yeah.
Pigs in a blanket, hand cooked.
Sorry, I didn't realise I didn't unmute myself. But I got pigs in a blanket.
Oh no, they're potatoes.
Potato chips. They're called. It's called crisps in my region. But
it's funny. I'm glad you held that up. What's funny is, the Irish call their potatoes Irish potatoes. In England, they call it British potatoes. Germans call their potatoes German potatoes. You know, when they make
Correct.
their German potato salad or the potato soup, or I think potato leek. I think leek soup has potatoes. But, you know, potatoes actually came from the Andes Mountains of South America. The Incas, for thousands of years, the Incas that, the Indians, whether they were Incas or not, that lived in the Andes, where the weather is cool all year round, they grew potatoes, and there's hundreds of different types. And that's where it originally came from. Just like peanuts came from the Andes Mountains, was cultivated by indigenous people.
I never knew that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so did potatoes. You know, tomatoes and corn from Central America. Peppers, a lot of peppers, chili peppers came from there. But potatoes are not European. I think potatoes became so popular in Europe at that time because any of the diseases that attack crops did not affect the potato because it's a root vegetable. It's underground.
Right.
Yeah. Well, with the exception of the potato famine in Scotland?
Ireland.
Years ago, there was some sort of disease that got to the potatoes there. And there were a lot of Scotland's Irishmen starving out there because of the potato famine. That's why you ended up getting a lot of them coming over here in America. So
well, because England suppressed or oppressed Ireland. They couldn't have their own. Like the beef, the cattle industry belonged to the king. The commercial fishing industry belonged to the King of England. Like the Irish couldn't produce their own food. Everything belonged to the King of England.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the British at that time felt that the potato was like peasant food, so they allowed the Irish to cultivate it.
You know, that reminds me. You know, he's talking about like peasant food, or essentially poor food, I guess, for another way of saying it. You know, in colonial times, you know how you got like your, cream chowder soup or lobster and all that?
Yeah, lobster biscuit, clam chowder.
Yeah, clam chowder. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of poor people back in the day used to eat that in colonial times. And then somehow it turned, and next thing you know, became an expensive thing, like having lobster.
Well, lobster was a poor man's food back during early America.
Yeah.
I love lobster. Lobster's so expensive. Where I am, you know, it's like.
Well, there's
frozen lobster now.
Lobsters are not only in Maine. They're in the whole North Atlantic, all the way to Scandinavia, and Bayou, scallops, halibut, lobster,
crayfish tails. I had that the other day.
You're absolutely correct. Some of the best seafood.
King crab.
Oh yeah. I love seafood.
Octavia Stewart.
I love seafood. All the food I see, I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that was a poor dad joke. I know. Yeah, I had to throw it in there though.
I'm on a seafood diet, right? I see food and I eat it.
That's how I felt when I used to go to when I used to go to the buffet before the pandemic. I was on a seafood diet. Octavia. Now, to the troll that keeps on coming back with different aliases. I have an itch in the middle of my forehead. It needs to be scratched. You piece of you pile of steaming fecal matter.
Dorothy Allen was blocked. Octavia Stewart was blocked. Them two?
No, it's not. It's all the same person because they say the same thing.
I hate to answer this question, but my curiosity's peaked at this point now. Because this is like the second time we've talked about this individual. What is he saying? What are they saying?
Yeah.
Gibberish.
Gibberish is right.
It's not even.
Ask them to join the video. They will not do it. I bet you. They will not.
They won't do it. They won't do it.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even making sense, BC. It's not like when Sid used to come on and he used to talk about feminism and things like that. You know, I mean,
Is this the same guy that used to say that he could fit like 8 hot dogs in his mouth, or is that a different guy?
No, that's different. I think it's a different. I think it's different.
Yeah, I think it's different.
Well, as far as that one guy that can stick 8 hot dogs in his mouth, my opinion still stands that I gave to him. He might want to get a job in porn.
He can fit 18 hot dogs in his mouth.
Yeah.
Gays at them?
That's hilarious. Well, folks, I have to hate to say I got to run. We've got to go to the in-laws for dinner this evening.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it was great hanging out with you, James. BC,
cheers,
glad to hear you made it. Jordy, cheers. Yeah. James, thanks again for a great show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your participation in the first half of the show with progressive discussions and all the topics we discussed.
And I apologize. It was a very distracting experience. A lot of kids running around here.
Well, I think it was the first time we really got serious about serious topics, and we should do it again. It's a good way to kick off the beginning of the show. Of course, if BC and Eric were here from the start and they were cooking something, we would take a little intermission and look at their food, and then go back and forth. Serious subjects, but anyway, look, you have
cheers,
a good
guys.
time.
Thanks again. I appreciate it, and you guys all have a great week. We'll speak to you later.
Yeah, you do. Later, Jason.
Bye. Be well, BC. Cheers,
Jordy.
Take care, Jordy. We'll see you at JPM. Bye, guys. Bye.
Yes, sir. All right.
It got me thinking. Sometimes I try not to do that because it leaves me in the wrong direction sometimes. But anyhow, no, I don't know how to put this. So, James, please do not get me the wrong way. I'm just thinking out loud. So, don't hate me for putting it this way. So, guys, we're talking about it being a serious discussion, hard-hitting topic show. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Love it. So what do you say? When I got to the show, I brought the shenanigans.
No, we were done. We have exhausted the topics. We were finished.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I don't mind having topics.
No,
so.
when you came on the show, we were just coming out of TV Evangelist, and we were talking about corporate CEOs. And we went from TV Evangelists to charities with CEOs.
Oh yeah,
making a fortune. Then we went from the charity organizations with the crooked CEOs to regular corporate CEOs. And you weren't bringing those shenanigans. You're very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You were talking about you were contributing, and then you had that really interesting cherry bourbon that we got excited over, and
yeah, this is true.
Jason showed his bourbon, corn and hard and winter wheat, corn and winter wheat.
Winter Samuel Adams. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. Winter lager.
Yeah.
That was good, man. We get Samuel Adams Boston Lager, but I am.
I reviewed this on my channel Wednesday, and I reviewed it on Ron's show. Now, all fairness, okay, Ron, I love Ron, don't get me wrong. If Ron watches this, if he's watching or if he is watching this at a later date, don't get me wrong. I'm just, I don't mean no hate or whatever you want to call that, okay?
Right.
So, he liked it a lot better than I did. And, he put it best where it was like, okay, for an example, let's say Jordan here. He drinks the same thing I'm drinking. Now, if he gives it, like, say, a 9.5 out of 10, and I give it a 7.75 out of 10. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad beer. It just means that his, I guess, preferences or taste is just different from mine. So
Well, it's
it's
not
not
written in
wrong.
stone. Yeah.
So we're seeing it differently. So
Like
that's
everybody's got their own personal taste and stuff like that, you know. I like beer that some of my friends don't like, you know. So like,
Like
I wouldn't judge anyone on the beer choices that they drink.
Like I've heard people review a whiskey where they're detecting vanilla and graham crackers and this and that, all these flavors. I just don't. My taste buds don't pick that up.
Yeah, same here.
It picks up
I get what you mean.
the fermented barley
Yeah.
malt, you know, the malty taste, the smoky wood, that you know, the peat that's smoked to make the Scotch whiskey.
It depends on the whiskey though. Now, if you get our Big 10, now you can get the peat off of that straight away. That's almost overpowering. But yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm totally agreement. I'm in a total agreement with you, James. I mean, I might be a beer reviewer, but I remember one beer I had. There was a Mexican chocolate beer. Now it had chocolate, caramel nibs, and what was it, jalapenos or chili? I think it was chili. Oh no, yeah, it was chili. Now, granted,
jalapeno beer, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now I'm a smoker. Now I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be able to taste everything. Kind of like with James, even though he's not a smoker, he can't taste everything either. And I did this review with my brother, and he's a non-smoker. Okay. Now I'm saying I can taste the chocolate. I can taste the chocolate nibs in there, or the caramel nibs, but I can't taste the chili in there. And I looked to him and I asked him, "It's like, you taste it?" It's like, no. Okay. Now it brings me to cooking after he told me that. Now, when you're cooking something, you'll add this or you'll add that. And a lot of times it's enhancing the other stuff that's already in there. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Now, sometimes if you say add salt, now that's going to bring out more flavor to something else or something to that effect. Now, it goes with this beer. I can't taste the chili. My brother couldn't taste the chili. Now, it probably worked in a domino effect where the chili worked the caramel nibs, which worked the chocolate in there, and it tasted like a liquid chocolate bar. I swear to God, it was like drinking a liquid chocolate bar. And I could not taste it at all whatsoever. And it was like another one where it was like this. This is a Bach beer. Now, I forget which one it was, but I think it was Hector's Score. And they said they had like a prunish, raisin like taste to it.
Yeah, like dark fruit.
Yeah, dark fruit, because a lot of Bach beers use either red or dark fruit. And I couldn't taste it. But I reviewed the beer on Ron's channel, and he has somebody else if he can taste the dark fruit in there. Yeah. Okay, so it's just one of them things where it's like some people can taste it, other people can't. It doesn't matter what you can pick up.
Yeah, I mean, I try to slowly smell the beer, the ale, the stout, the whiskey, the rum, and I can only detect what I detect. You know, it's like artwork. You know, one person's garbage child's play is another person's masterpiece. You know,
that's the one thing I like to look out for is the artwork on the bottle. Like,
it's not. I love the art. I love the artwork on craft beer bottles. And they're really, it's really clever. But you know,
some of them are really clever. They really are. It's like, what was it? I had Wolf Kingdom, I think it was. This was probably about 2 months back.
Wolf Kingdom.
Yeah, I think so. Where it was a reddish can with a wolf on it. It was a stout, or was it a porter? I think it was a porter. But either way, it was a stout or a porter. And I really enjoyed it. And I initially thought when I saw the artwork on the can that the beer was going to suck, because sometimes you get them companies where the artwork looks awesome as hell, but when it comes to actual contents, it sucked because they spent all the money on the artwork. But this one, it matched the artwork. It was really awesome. I really enjoyed that beer. I wish I could get that beer around here me all the time. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. So, I'll show you something, BC, right? So, I showed this earlier, but I just want to say something. So, see this one? Like, this was a £5 a can, £5 a can, but I think we're paying like an extra like £2 or something for the artwork personally.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a 10%er as well, so we're probably paying an extra £1 for the artwork, you know? But this is good artwork, it's a good beer at the same time. But they released a women thing. Wait, this is 10%. But before this one, they released lemon drizzle ice cream stout, and it was yellow, but it was only 5%, and it was still a £5 a can. So, you know, I think you are paying money for artwork sometimes on these beers.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I mean, no, honestly, I'm not the artwork. If the brew or porter, stout, beer is actually good, I mean, good. I'm not talking perfect. I'm not talking, God made type of thing. I mean, it has to at least be good. You know what I'm saying? And
Definitely.
okay, fine, I don't mind. But if it's a terrible drinking product, I do not care how pretty that can is. That just tells me, oh, I see that can. I'm not trying that one ever again. That's all it's telling me. Yeah.
Well, I've had fantastic IPA, Imperial IPA with a very plain looking can, and I've had it was fantastic Imperial IPA, and I've had a horrible craft beer with a fancy artwork on a can, just like BC said, you know. And when you're on a review show, it's what people say is not written in stone. It's simply their take on it. It's okay. It's their take on it. It's how they perceive the product, you know.
Yeah.
And, like if you go to a website on a liqueur and they get all emotional and dramatic, big violin. I'm sorry.
Got the harmonica too, with the piano.
I just don't detect all the things the company is detecting in that product.
It's kind of like they're trying to get your hopes up about it, and then when you go into it, it's like, oh, it's not as good as what they say.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad. On one hand, I'm glad I do my beer show. I really am, and I'm on top of that, I'm glad we're here talking about this as well. You know what I mean? And it's one of them things where it's like, I give it as straight as I can. I don't know. I hate to say it, but I don't know any better. Well, I do, but when it comes to me being me, I don't know any better. To a certain extent. You ask me a question, I'm going to tell you what I think. I don't. If I'm wrong for thinking that way, okay, fine. Please tell me that I'm wrong. I'm kind of level-headed or open-minded about that. I mean, we all got our viewpoints, which makes this show great.
Well, I was very impressed. I was very impressed by Bell's brewery product line. I noticed they have really, really interesting products.
To go on about that, I am too. I really am. And I'm still worried about how their product's going to be now that they've been bought out by, was it Loin or Leon, company out of Sweden? And, I haven't reviewed the same beer twice yet on my show by Bell's Beers. It shows how many beers that they make throughout the year. I mean, granted, they got the 200 ale all year round, for sure. They come out with the Bright White around this time of year. And they just came out with, the Great Spruce Chase this year that I tried? And I was just talking about this, last week or the week before on this channel that I reviewed it. And I was like, these guys do so much. It's just amazing, I'm surprised none of the guy when Larry sold the company. I'm surprised none of his kids wanted to step up and say, you know what, let's keep this as a true independent brewery in Michigan. And it was like, if Leon or whatever the company's name is just has it and just lets them do their own thing, awesome. Because I do not want them to change a thing.
No, they shouldn't. They should not cut corners if they have. If it's a family-owned business that makes a high-quality product, they should not try to cut corners because that's only gonna chase repeat customers away. But anyway, I'm gonna have to end the show and start dinner because I'm getting hungry. And, we have 3 hours and 25 minutes and 5 seconds. I just want to say, BC, I'm sorry you had a rough Sunday. And,
I'm trying to look at it the positive side. At least it made a great conversational piece. I love to tell stories, man, when I can, and that was definitely a story to tell right there, man.
Or it's a good thing the battery went dead near a bowling alley where you could go inside and not feel cold.
Yeah, true.
It could have went dead somewhere else.
Yeah.
Could have went dead
around the pool. I was good.
Yeah.
So
it could have went dead when you literally had to stand out in the cold and wait for the tow truck. So
that was an hour and a half out of my life that I can't get back now. And that could have been an hour and a half standing outside if I went anywhere else.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm sure that pork loin, which you thought was a rack of ribs, but I'm sure that pork loin is going to be delicious. But let me ask you something I don't think I've asked you before I end the show. How was that smoked turkey breast you did the week before?
Oh, it was so awesome. Oh my God, it was so awesome.
Good.
I mean, it was a little bit dry, but it was awesome. It was awesome. I had so much of that turkey breast left over. Last Sunday, I ended up.
Maybe you gotta add the water bowl in the smoker for the.
Yeah, I'm thinking about filling that silver tray in my grill here with water so it doesn't dry anything out. Because you see that drip pan that I keep in my grill. So I'm gonna probably have to fill that up.
Because when my sister did the Thanksgiving turkey in her new stove, she put it on convection, and she turned the steam apparatus on that shoots steam as the fan circulates the hot air, like convection is circulating hot air. She had steam going in there automatically, and let me tell you, the breast, I was able to cut it with a fork. That's how juicy and tender it was. So I think the addition of a water tray would work wonders. And then now that you did the breast, you can probably throw drumsticks, thighs, wings, necks.
And maybe eventually the whole bird at one point, yeah.
Eventually, you're going to feel comfortable and do a whole bird. But I think the parts which are available all year round, turkey parts, are always available.
James,
before we end the show, James.
Yeah, let's take a look at BC's loin. That's the fruit of his loins.
James, BC, see if I add you to like a wee messenger group with just us. We can add some other beer tubers like Ronald and stuff. But like I want to do. I'm ordering some Pabst Blue Ribbon soon, and I want to do a kind of dual review. Like so, BC, if you're up for it, James, if you're up for it, like do like a wee collaboration Pabst Blue Ribbon review.
Yeah, if you want to do a review, I sent some other people the link, and I sent Ronnie S a link, and but if you wanna do the review, and before we call it quits, we could do that. Look at that huge loin with the barbecue
No,
sauce.
wait, I've not got PBR right now. I mean, I'm going to order some within like the next 2 weeks or something. So we could organize a wee, just like a wee like 20 minutes where we like review PBR together. You know, I think that would be cool. You can do it on your channel or BC's channel. You know,
Well, listen. If you want to review something,
yeah,
you take a bottle. Let's say you get the new beer or ale or stout during the week. Just take 1 or 2 bottles and put it in the back of the refrigerator and save it for Sunday. Then I send you the link. You come on and you review the product on the show. And if you want to bring your dad and have him sit next to you, he's more than welcome to come.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I think it'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting, and BC's pork loin looks fantastic.
It does, BC. That looks really nice.
And I'm sure it's going to be very tasty. And that's that. I'm gonna make organic spaghetti with white clam sauce. That's gonna be my dinner.
That sounds nice, James. White clam sauce.
White clam sauce. No tomatoes. White clam sauce is usually parsley, garlic, olive oil, clams with clam juice. You could a little black pepper. You could pretty much do it with scallops, the little scallops.
Yeah, the mini ones. Baby scallops. Yeah,
baby bay scallop or calico scallops. That you could do.
Oh yeah, I love them.
And then if you have white wine in the house.
In fact, I had paella the other day because I was at the Christmas market in Glasgow on Friday, and it's all imported stuff as well in this Christmas market. And I got Spanish paella. It had mussels. It had cockles, which are like little tiny.
Was there squid in it?
Yeah, like rings, like calamari rings.
Oh, the rings. Okay, not the tentacles, the rings. Mussels, cockles. Baby scallops or no?
Oh no, there wasn't any scallops in it.
Well, for those
there was
people,
prawns.
For those people out there that don't know what paella is, it's something they eat in Spain and Portugal, and it's a seafood rice casserole with rice where they put saffron, which is a flour that makes it yellow.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Very expensive product. It's actually a flour. Flour. A posy, and that makes it yellow. And then they cook it in a medley of seafood, different kinds of seafood and ambrosia, and it's very, very tasty. Cooked in rice, and when you open, take the lid off and get that aroma.
Oh yeah,
it
smells fantastic.
The steamed rice with all the juices of all the seafood goes into the rice, and the whole thing is,
I don't understand people who hate the smell of like seafood and stuff, because I like it. I like the smell of the sea.
When I used to go to my favorite buffet, all you can eat before the pandemic, I used to go and I used to get the cockles. I used to scoop the cockles and the broth, and I used to pour it over the Chinese rice noodles. They're very thin, like an angel hair. Like I used to put it over the rice noodles and just have all the flavor of the clams, of the cockles go into the noodles. Oh man, that was
lovely.
Right next they had roast duck, and I used to take all the good pieces of roast duck. And,
I've tried duck before. I've had crispy duck from a Chinese restaurant, which was really nice.
Oh yeah, crispy duck. They take they debone the duck, and they deep fry it first in batter or whatever, or they just deep fry it. The duck skin is very fatty, so when you deep fry it, it gets crispy. And then they just put it in the wok. They stir fry it in the sauce, whatever sauce they happen to be using.
That is awesome, James. You know so much about food. You're a food wizard. It's awesome.
Yeah, it kind of rivals me a little bit, man. I think so, man. I even went to school for cooking, so I mean, James is pretty knowledgeable. So
now speaking of my favorite duck recipe, I used to go to a Polynesian restaurant with family, and I always ordered lychee pineapple duck, which is a crispy, boneless duck meat, stir fried in a sweet and sour sauce with chunks of pineapple and lychee fruits.
Ooh,
man, was that good! And they put some kind of brandy. They put some kind of a brandy in there while it's cooking.
Oh man, I'm sure they basted that too, man. Yeah.
And I would take it, and I would put the sweet and sour sauce from the duck and the fruit on the rice, and the rice would be on the side, and I would just pour it right over the rice, and
mix it up.
It was really good.
I gotta give credit to James, man. I'll tell you that right now. I know how to cook. You know how to eat. I'm sure you know how to cook too. We just haven't seen it yet. So, I'm waiting for that day to see you actually cook up something. But like I said, your knowledge, I'm telling you, it kind of rivals mine.
I put a lot of cooking videos on the Facebook group. Everything is food. They're there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of cooking videos. So now that I got my new wok from China, I've been doing so much with that thing. It's so versatile. If you're into making one pot meals, that's the perfect cooking utensil to make. Now my sister doesn't watch this show, but I got her a really good cooking device for her gas stove for Christmas. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'll tell it to you after the holiday. But it's
just in case if she is watching.
yeah. Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, it's a good one. It's really a good thing to have, where BC is gonna say, "Damn, I ought to order that."
Yeah.
Especially if you have a blizzard, a deep snowstorm outside, and you don't feel
that's true. But hold on, let me let my dog get out. Finish what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, the deck here that I got with on the side of the house, I started shoveling that deck on the side of the house because of my dog. Okay, and this was, it's my dog now, but originally it was my brother's dog. And now you've seen the dog, James. It's a shaggy dog. It's a hairy dog.
But they love playing in the snow. Dogs love playing in the snow.
Yeah. And with the deck, it would get a lot of snow during the wintertime here in Michigan. So I'd shovel the deck to try to minimize the amount of snow that comes into the house. And it was like, okay, now I understand that there's going to be some snow that she's going to bring in just by happenstance, by accident, because of her hair. Okay, fine. I can live with that. I'm going to expect some snow. Hell, I even bring snow in when I come in from the outside.
Yeah, sure.
But with the deck, I try to minimize that because there's going to be a lot more snow coming in from that deck. And now, since I've got my grill out here on the deck, of course, I'm going to shovel the snow. And that means I'm going to have easy access to my grill during the wintertime when I do cook out there. So
your grill and your fire pit.
Yeah. Now the fire pit, I might have a little trouble getting out there during the wintertime when there's actually snow out there. But that's kind of granted because that's in the backyard with a bunch of grass.
Well, you could put the fire pit, of course, on the ground, but not have it too far away from your house. I mean, you can have it a safe distance, but not too far away.
Yeah.
You know, you in Michigan, you're gonna have snow where you're gonna have these snow. You're gonna have these snow drifts where the wind is gonna be blowing snow under your door, and some of it's gonna come in the house.
Yeah.
You know, and but it's a winter wonderland. That's how you. That's
you know, that's what we call it too out here, man. It's a winter wonderland. We've got license plates with that on there. A winter wonderland.
Yeah,
So.
you ever see the different designs of snowflake crystals? You know, they come in different patterns and.
Oh yeah, you know, I've got a little qualm about that one though.
But they gotta be dry. It's gotta be dry snow.
Yeah, but you know, out of how many centuries that we've been getting snowflakes, there has to be the same design somewhere. And what happens to that snow when it melts? It evaporates. So you're getting that same one over and over again, just in different parts of the world. I'm assuming. Yeah, once it freezes, it becomes snow again.
Now, if I lived in the far north where the winters were severe.
Oh, like Canada?
No, it could be northern Minnesota, northern Michigan,
or even Alaska.
No, I ain't going up there with those grizzly bears. Those
hey, hang out at Juneau, man. You got a bunch of people with guns. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
The Sasquatches up there are like over 10 feet tall in Alaska.
Well, you must be eating a lot to be.
I believe in Sasquatches. I believe in Bigfoot.
Oh, I believe in the UFOs, all of them. But listen, if the first thing I would buy, if I had no choice but to live in an area where the winters are bad, I would get cross-country skis. You know, the ones where you ski on a flat surface.
Yeah.
Flat ground.
I would get a snowmobile. That's just me, though.
No, that's not a bad idea.
I get the snow skis. I get it. But then again, I would have, snowshoes, too. I got to run out to go get the firewood. I got to have some snowshoes because you know that snow is going to be deep.
I like the idea of the snowmobile, but it would have to be not a little snowmobile. It'd have to be a comfortable snowmobile.
Yeah. You know, talking about that, you know, when I was coming home earlier today, I was in that tow truck, man. You know, my dad used to be a tow truck or not a tow truck driver, but he used to be a truck driver. And, you know, I never realized how much bouncing around you do in these cabs, man. Oh, my God. I thought riding the scooter was bouncy.
Well, you
but
need a
cab in the tow truck was even worse.
You have to go to a chiropractor every week if you drive a tractor trailer, a rig.
Yeah, and now I remember going on a trip with my dad, and he said the seat that he had in his truck that he was driving, you know, the driver's seat, he said it was like air cushion. So it kind of bounced up and down a little bit. So he didn't get all that moving around like I was doing riding with him, man. So it was like, dude.
Well,
it's good thing I'm not a truck driver, man. I'm a heavyset guy. My stomach's already giving me back problems. Truck driving would be even worse for me.
Maybe he installed something like a little hydraulic spring, hydraulic suspension, or what about gel? What about foam, memory foam gel?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of like what you're saying, but it was made out of air. So every time when he turned it on, it was like a hydraulic press or a hydraulic jack or whatever, what you're talking about. But it was just made out of air. So it was a cushioned seat. And I swear, watching him, he was just there like I am with you right now. Like this, sitting straight.
Well, otherwise it'll kill your lower back. That was a diesel truck, right?
Yeah, it was a diesel truck, yeah. I'll tell you one thing. Riding that scooter, like in the summertime, and I'm doing a lot of driving during the day, I tell you one thing, it does kill my back, especially the lower back. It really does. I don't mind going around. I love riding that scooter, but when it starts causing pain in my lower back, that's a different story.
Well, at least you could dodge the potholes and you know, and like you can see that
Where they're coming at, yeah.
You can see it's going to be a hard hit, and you could, you know, if the traffic allows you, you can always go around those things.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is I got talking about that. I got stopped once. I seen like a big old section. It was like maybe 4 feet wide and probably about 8 feet long. It was like a patchwork of like potholes where you don't really get the asphalt. They just throw that shit in there. And it was like that for 4 feet wide and like 8 feet long. And I kind of swerved to get around it so I wouldn't have to feel it. And I didn't notice it, but there was a cop behind me. And he stopped me, man. It's like, what are you doing, man? I seen you just all over the road just then, man. I was like, didn't you just see all that patchwork of potholes that got covered up with asphalt? Yeah, that's what I was avoiding, man. It's nice to sit in the car and not have to worry about it. But when you're driving a scooter, you're feeling everything on the road.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm moving around like I am. Like, no, go ahead, James.
Yeah, you can get off the scooter and just walk a straight line for him. It says, I'm definitely not intoxicated. I was avoiding the potholes.
Yeah, yeah. But he knew what I was saying to be true, and he didn't write me a ticket for it because he knew that up until that point, I was as straight as an arrow. So, hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's getting a new battery. If you're not able to get a car this winter, I would suggest you see if they got those winter chains that you can put around the
wheels. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
Which worst comes to worst, I'm gonna have to start taking the bus to work. And
yeah. What's the drive wheel in the back, right? The scooter.
Yeah, the drive wheel in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at least it'll be able to dig into that ice and snow with the chains, you know.
Yeah.
But it's going to come to a point where that scooter, if you get a major snowstorm this winter and that scooter is not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's going to be staying right here at the house. And, you know, I hate to say it, but we're going back to 6 a.m. tomorrow. So
Subaru front wheel drive is good and reliable. My sister loves her Honda Accord, and also I believe Mitsubishi has a front wheel drive 3-cylinder vehicle that a friend of mine loves, and he's not short. He's maybe an inch or two shorter than me, and he says there's plenty of leg room in that thing, and it's 3-cylinder. And he gets great mileage. I think it's
that reminds me of my brother. Now I'm 5'8", okay. My brother, he's like 6'2", kind of like what you're talking about. Now he would buy these itty bitty cars, man. I remember one time he bought Mini Cooper? Yeah, Mini Cooper.
They're a death trap, man. They're tiny.
Yeah, and what the point is this is a tiny car, and you got a guy that's saying 6'2", driving this dinky little thing. It's like he's driving a clown car. And I seen him drive up for the first time. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the car. I'm looking back at him. I'm looking back at the car. I look at him again. He says, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Is it just you coming out of that car?" I'm expecting like 50 other clowns to come out.
Oh yeah, the clown car.
Yeah.
I need a lot of leg room. Otherwise, my lower back is killing me because I'm 6'1", so I need the leg room.
Yeah, and you know that's the funniest thing with me. It's like I'm 5'8". I need leg room. I let my mom drive my car one time, and she literally had the car steering wheel like this. Right here. And I tried to get into the car. I was like, how'd you get in there? It's just fine with me. I could not get in or out of that position. I was like, I do not know how you do it at granted, yeah, I'm about twice the size of my mom. My mom's a tiny little lady. But still, the point is, move the seat back where you found it. Come on.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can't. Yeah, your knees were like probably killing you, like when you
Oh
got.
yeah, as soon as I was able to like push the seat back, get in the car, and then push it back to where it was, to just see how it felt. Oh my God, I was never claustrophobic until that moment in my life. I swear to God. Yeah.
You know, Michael. This is why I dread ever going on United Airlines again, because when I took a United Airlines from Newark Liberty Airport here in New Jersey to San Diego, California, there the room, it was horrible. My even with my seat all the way back, the tip of my knees were still touching the back seat in the front, and it was really cramped. It was very uncomfortable for a 5-hour plane flight. It really,
Oh man.
it really was bad. United Airlines, and they said that, oh, we have Wi-Fi, you'll be entertained. Guess what? I couldn't get the Wi-Fi. The United Airlines Wi-Fi won't come up. I couldn't be connected. Oh yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. 5 hours in that thing. The only thing that made it tolerable was I was sitting next to a Los Angeles police officer that was next to me, a Philippine guy that went to a family wedding in New Jersey, and he was flying back to Southern California, and we were joking around, we were talking throughout the whole flight, you know. And I as soon as I sat down and I noticed he was friendly, I says, I just want you to know if anyone starts trouble, if there's any incident on this plane flight, me and you are going to tackle them. And he says, you're damn right we are. Yeah, if there's any riffraff or anything going to happen, you know, no one's going to force crash this flight into any building. We're gonna do something. Jordy, nice having you. Well, I'll see you again next time. Happy holidays if I don't see you.
Happy holidays, James. Happy holidays, BC. Happy holidays, everyone else in the chat.
Yes, and if you're
Thank you for having me, James. It's been a pleasure being here. It's been fun.
And I don't know, next Sunday, Christmas Eve. It's not next week, the week after, right?
Yeah, it's the week after. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll be doing a show if you're around. If you want a review, one or two or three products, I have to ask Jason Cleveland.
Same time next week, next Sunday.
Yeah. I have to ask, since the company cannot ship that hard dry cider to me, maybe Jason, if I send him money on PayPal for shipping, maybe he can send it to me postal United States priority, or United States Postal Office priority.
Yeah, you know, that should be done because what was it, Wednesday? I ended up shipping out 2 beers out to a guy. Well, I'm not going to get into that where I shipped it to, but I shipped it out, and I got home from the United States Post Office, and I get home, and there's a package sitting on my porch. Come to find out, there was another guy I know out. Well, I'm not going to say that either, but he lives in another state between me and James, and yeah, him. There's not you, but he lives in a state between you and I. So he sends me a package, and he ends up sending me 3 beers. And I was like, sweet. And it was like, I did one. One of them was it yesterday.
You reviewed it on a video.
Yeah, one on my show. Then I did a stout this morning on Stout Sunday of another one he sent, and then I've got another one from him that I'm going to be doing on my Wednesday show.
Now,
So-
let me ask you a question. When you review solo, do you go live for free on YouTube?
Well, I don't go live. What I do is I record
You're
what I do, and then I edit what I do, and then I post it on the YouTube.
and then you upload it into your
Yeah,
YouTube.
I upload it to the YouTube. Yeah.
Okay, so they're
That's
pre-recorded, so that means no trolls will be bothering you during a live show.
Oh no. I
then
want this to be like a first time experience, uninterrupted.
Yeah. Well, you can add a banner, and you can add a banner in the front, some non-copyrighted music.
Well, that's the thing. If you've ever watched my show, at the end of my show, I've got uncopyrighted music at the end of my show, and I do, regardless if it's in a bottle or can. I'm reviewing a beer today at the beginning of my show, and then I sing my own jingle. PC's beer reviews, PC's beer reviews, PC's beer reviews.
Listen, I make my own music, all right? Night Energy.
Oh,
you can use any of the, see if you look up Night Energy, you can use you as well, James. Anyone, you can use the music as an intro.
Synthesizer? You have like a keyboard or?
It's all on the computer. It's all basically it's not. I don't sit with a guitar and that. It's just basically all on the computer. It's all my own stuff though. I started.
Now, what's it called? Night Energy.
Yeah.
Night Energy. Now I can find this on YouTube. Yeah.
Maybe I could play. Yeah. Maybe someday I could play my African drum with you and jam.
Yeah, James, let's do that. Definitely
jam with you on a live stream.
Yes.
You know,
yeah, you could bring Paul in, man, to play his guitar.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, Eric plays his guitar. Paul plays the guitar. Yeah, we could set up something. We can all jam.
I could be the lead singer. Get that, man. That'd be so awesome.
I'll make you your own intro music, and then you just sing PC's Beer Reviews. No, let's go. Let's go.
Okay, I'll settle for a backup singer. Okay.
All right, listen, guys. I gotta go cook my clam sauce and spaghetti. It's been nice having everybody. I'll see you guys on Facebook Messenger. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you guys later, man. Oh,
have a good week. Have a good week to all you listeners and viewers. Bye bye.
Cheers, everyone. Goodbye. Good night.